Thank you for joining us at the Yetis Without Borders podcast. My name is Patrick. I'm going to introduce a new section today called Yetis After Dark, where we're going to get 3 or 4 people together and we're going to play some games and have some drinks and just see where the night takes us. As always, I have my friend Zach with me.
Hello.
Zach has brought his lovely fiancée, Shannon. Shannon, how you doing tonight?
Hi.
Superb. We also have Mike. Mike, how's the evening going?
Excellent.
Perfect.
You're too excited for this?
This game is going to be fun. We're playing a game called Moral Dilemma. I got it off Kickstarter. It's kind of similar to Cards Against Humanity, but we always find it's more of a discussion game where it gives you a generic scenario, and you basically get to decide if you are a bad person or not. So
You're
we're
always
gonna,
a bad person.
yeah, we're just gonna see how far down the rabbit hole we go this evening.
I really don't think there is a or not in this.
So we'll
scenario.
just kind of
no or
do
not.
this,
You're
and we'll
just-
do this. Okay, I'm just gonna get us started. Let's just dive right in. So scenario 1: you are given an extraordinary offer to swap your entire life for the sex partner, job, and money of your dreams. All of your previous memories will then be erased. Do you accept the offer or not accept the offer?
I'm in. 100%. The money of my dreams? Yeah, sure. My life's not that great.
I mean, in that scenario, I wouldn't know what I know what I would be missing out on, but if I took it, I wouldn't know what I had lost.
So, you're just, the happiest person in the world.
It seems like the way the question is phrased, like, if you already, in my life, if I already had one of those things, I would keep it, and I would just trade up for other things, so...
Yeah,
why wouldn't I?
You could keep the sex partner of your life for the money you have.
It depends on, I don't know, I'm not happily married, I don't care about my job, I'm kind of poor, so...
That's what, I feel like this is an easy yes. Why wouldn't I take this?
Unless you're like a martyr, or if you know, if you've got kids and you love your kids, you might not have them, right?
You could be married to Scarlett Johansson, and then you're like,
God, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
I would not
just
take
live
it,
right there, and she's the love of your life. There you go, you're done.
That's the most obvious yes I've ever seen.
I think it's that one's gonna be yes for us specifically, right? I think for other people, maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like this is more if you were more firmly entrenched in your life.
I'm not sentimental. I guess I'm not attached to the life I have.
This is where you've been married for 20 years. And and you're stuck, and you've had your job for 20 years, right?
Yeah, there's a movie called Mr. Destiny with Jim Belushi where he gets the option to hit the home run that changes his life for his entire life, and he marries a different girl and does this and goes back to his old life. So I think if it gave you the option to see what it would be like and if you'd actually be happy, that'd be kind of cool. Because you never know, you could have everything of your dreams, but you could just be bored out of your fucking
I guess that's the more, if you're getting really into it, maybe these things wouldn't make you happy, but I guess, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a discussion game.
The only thing that, I would think of, and I don't think it would affect my decision in this, but, is if you had certain experiences that had shaped who you are, and supposedly those would all be wiped away.
Oh,
so you'd be a completely different person.
The memories are kind of what's getting to you.
Totally. So, I mean, at this point in my life, there's no real experience that I've had that I think would, shape me in a different way than if I had took the second life.
Who cares? You don't even know that you're a different person.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you're the exact same person, how would you know that you're molded?
What if I'm a shitty person? I don't care.
Let's say you lost an arm. You'd go into the new life without an arm. You'd be like, well, what the fuck happened? You wouldn't just be, completely reformed,
That's the thing,
right?
is if you go into this new life...
I'm still saying yes.
You would have no memory before that, and so you would have...
Well, it says you wouldn't have your memories. It doesn't say that it wouldn't have memories.
This new life would have memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might fabricate memories.
Because you would, all of the money...
Or, alternate reality.
Yeah.
If I went to a new life and I didn't have memories of before, this certain day, I would forever be wondering what that is, and I would be searching.
Oh my god,
I just would never be happy.
Mike is taking the question very literally.
Real life boring Memento. Holy shit.
Waking up every day. Who is John G? I don't understand.
But you could, if you knew it was going to happen, you could memento it in theory. You could get a couple tattoos of what happened. Go talk to some people, and they'd be like, "Dude, you're fucking crazy."
This seems like the most slam dunk question I've had playing this game.
For me,
do you want a bunch of good things or not?
Yeah, for me, this is there's zero question of I'll
consequences.
take this. Yeah.
I guess maybe it's maybe your ideal sex partner isn't actually who you would want. Maybe in your head. That isn't what it would actually be.
Maybe really boring.
Maybe she's awful. Yeah.
I am taking that chance, saying yes.
Who cares? You get to say you're married to Scarlett Johansson.
Right. Yeah, right. Zach, do you want to have a drink? Are you good with your drink?
I'm good, thank you.
There's vodka here.
just brought it here.
Yeah.
No one cares if vodka's cold. The other thing...
Vodka's always better cold. That's how it's meant to be drank.
But I mean, all alcohol is better cold just because
in
it
Soviet
doesn't
Russia,
burn
we
yourself.
keep in snow.
All of Russia is cold.
We drink
yeah,
our
so
vodka
you're gonna drink
any way we can.
If you're gonna drink vodka in Russia, it's automatically gonna be cold because Russia's just
Russia cold?
it's a cold place.
It's just like a stigma, isn't it?
It's a cold place.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like as northern as Canada and more northern. Therefore, it's pretty fucking cold.
Yeah, we get pretty fucking hot here.
I guess
though.
they probably have summer there.
Yeah,
too,
it's
probably.
not like perpetually
That's
winter.
probably
You
fair
get up to
point.
like northern
I
Russia
guess
and it
they
is
have
perpetually
sun.
winter.
It's Soviet
It's like the
Union.
Arctic Circle.
You didn't say specific. Like if you
Oh,
just said like
whatever.
Russia as a
We
base.
have no summer.
Yeah, right. Like
Winter's here. What
It's
the
not
fuck
like-
are you talking
Oh
about?
my god.
yeah, this is winter. I'll take this. This is great.
No, this is the beginning
This
of
is
winter.
fall.
I like winter. I don't
It's
get
gonna be
cold.
negative 40. We're gonna have 10 feet of snow. It's gonna be the worst experience
Don't
of your
say
life.
the
That's fine.
S word.
We already had it. I don't
There we go.
Yeah, there is still snow on the ground.
So, Mr. Michael, I think it's your turn to draw a card.
And read it.
And read it. Whoa.
Just like
I know.
draws it, discards, turn over.
You have
Reads
to
it.
read as well.
Okay. You are a climatologist. You learn that all of your calculations are wrong. The Earth is in fact not warming due to the combustion of fossil fuels. Do you announce to the public that you were wrong, or keep the lie going because after all the combustion in coal and other fuels can lead to other issues like acid rain, water pollution, and cancer?
I think if I'm a scientist, I tell the truth. I think in terms of
Yeah.
science, the truth matters more than the
Yeah,
greater good. You know.
yeah, and you'd be like known for, because I mean, like people always say like the Earth was flat type thing. We know him for that. Like you would in theory would be more famous for discovering the mistake, right?
Yeah. Because it is a popular theory. It's not like the theory that...
You know, I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought the Earth was warming because we were going closer to the sun. Fuck.
Well, first of all, the Earth is like naturally warming on its own. We're leaving an ice age. We've been in an ice age since like after the dinosaurs.
And you're complaining about winter. It's fucking ridiculous.
So an ice age refers to like having snow on both polar ice caps. So we're naturally transitioning into that. We sped up the process. of
Yeah,
global
are we
warming.
technically still in an ice age?
Yes,
right?
we are
that's
in
what
ice
it
age.
is?
Time out, guys. Time out.
What?
Aren't we just like hurtling upwards into space and everything's like flat?
What?
And yeah, we're also on Atlas's shoulders.
Yeah.
That one I
Right?
believe.
We're on like a big turtle.
Didn't like
Right,
Columbus
like-
sail
That's why-
off
yeah,
the
Yeah,
air?
and the clown is
The
devil
clown's
himself.
coming. Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
You
what's
got
that?
my in reference. Thank you.
The turtle is like the god that created Earth,
Yeah,
and
the
then
Stephen
it was
King
like
universe.
the demon. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just heard the clown as the devil. I was like, wait, what? I wasn't paying attention the entire thing.
That's a big part of it. They talk about the turtle a lot in it. I don't know if
Yeah.
they'll bring
You
that up
read
in
the
the new
book?
movie, but
I hope they do. The turtle's my
I
favorite
get it.
part.
it doesn't really
It's
come up in like it doesn't really pay off in the book. You know, like
No.
I love the fact that the like good god just like dies, and then we're all just like fucking laugh.
You would.
So wait, you're not a fan of Pennywise? He's not the best part of the book for you?
No, Pennywise turns into a gigantic fucking spider later
I thought
on.
he turns into like more than a spider. Doesn't he have like more legs? Which is creepier, yes.
he might be.
No
I don't. I
thanks.
know he lays spider eggs,
He's
and one of the
big enough
characters
that
has to-
he's bigger than the people.
I haven't
I'll
read
take the
it in a
turtle.
long time.
Pennywise is pretty
Never
bad.
read it.
It's good.
You
Pennywise is
should.
fucking great.
You should read-
There's
you
not
read
a
the
lot
book,
of
yeah.
Stephen King books that are like
The movie's
100% worth
with,
the read.
with
It
Tim
is worth
Curry?
the read.
Yeah,
Tim Curry's
Tim Curry is perfect as Pennywise.
He's flawless.
I don't love the movie as a whole, I think, but Tim Curry as Pennywise is flawless.
It was my
Flawless
first horror
casting.
movie that I ever watched, and it didn't scare me at all. And my dad sat on the couch just like shaking.
I think it's the best Stephen King book turned into a movie solely that it was because it was made for TV.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like,
The shower scene in it is pretty scary. That's
There's-
the one
yeah.
part I would say actually captures the book pretty well.
Mhm.
I like the book quite a lot.
I'm
I
a
like
big
the
fan of The Green Mile, as far as Stephen King movies.
Well, I mean, Shawshank Redemption's a good one too.
Shawshank
But
is probably
that's
the
not,
best movie.
Not written
yeah.
as Stephen King.
No,
it's
that
Richard
one
Bachman.
is as Stephen King. Yeah,
Shawshank Redemption is not.
I think it is.
No, it's Richard Bachman. It's
Is
in
it?
the 4-pack with
Oh, interesting.
Stand By Me and, well, 2 others.
I think Stand By Me is Stephen King as well, so I'm going to disagree with you. But
Oh, I'm fucking... Shannon, it's your turn.
Richard Bachman is the regulator,
turn?
is thinner, and all that garbage. I like Running Man actually, which is
well,
Richard
I
Bachman.
got
like
the Instruction card?
Yeah.
You have to read it.
Fuck no. Salem, the year is 1692, and you are the
Burnham.
leader of a small town in Massachusetts. Have you had this care before?
I don't know.
You have,
Salem.
you have concluded that a number of unexplained illnesses are the result of witchcraft, and so have ensured that a number of local witches are found guilty in fair trials.
Okay,
Keyword there,
that was-
fair trials.
I was wrong.
Do you A, hang the witches, or B, crush the witches under large stones?
I'm still going with my first
Whoa,
answer.
this is
Wait,
a crazy question.
So
This isn't even a red. This is a green.
So wait, we're in Salem in period time.
In 1692, and we have
We-
given the witches a fair trial
So
and proven
floated
that they
them.
are guilty.
By
And
fair
you-
trial, it's just like they're women who are smarter than men, therefore they're witches.
They
right?
they didn't drown, or they did drown when. I don't know, what does it mean?
If there's that thing where you like poke them, and if there's
Well,
one
the-
spot on the body where they don't feel pain, they're a witch.
Yeah, the witches, the trials, as far as I've been led to believe, were like you do something that would kill a human, but if they survive, they're then witches.
I think usually it's
Realistically.
the opposite. It's if you die, you're the witch, and if you don't die, then you're not
No,
a witch.
because if you're a witch,
Oh,
and
no,
you're trying
you're
to
right,
like, fly
yeah.
away or like get away from the thing.
I guess in this, I don't. I feel like even if I thought they were a witch, I wouldn't want them to suffer. So I'd probably. Do
I'd
that.
hang the witches.
I would
Why be
hang
cruel?
them. I don't believe it. I just don't
Because
see the.
if you crush them, you give them more time to curse you.
So you get to hang them or crush
Crush
them?
them with rocks.
Like stone them or like drop a big
No,
rock on
crush
them?
the witches under large stones. So like
Which is,
drop rocks on them.
if you
Which
ever
will
re-
give them time to curse you if they're actually witches.
Which they do in the Crucible, right? I feel like
Yeah.
this is what the dude gets crushed by the rocks. I feel like this is sort of like a clever way of doing a death penalty question.
And in Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, they do. Piggy does get crushed by.
Yeah, he's-
not quite so slow.
I mean, he's a witch, but you know he doesn't know.
That one gets to me when Piggy gets crushed.
So
that
light
one-
them on fire isn't an option?
No.
I would hang them.
I think this is a clever death penalty
this
question.
is an
If you believe
option
someone
C
is,
question.
do you believe someone
Oh.
should suffer? Basically, if you believe they're guilty, should they suffer?
Is
I think
this an
that's what it is.
option
This
C
is an option
question?
C question.
Oh.
Oh yeah, let's do option C.
Okay.
I think this is an option C one. Yeah, I like that.
Option C. Option C is same as option A, but through sheet with a hole cut in it.
But she was a,
So you get to hang them, but they can't see who you are.
I guess A then for sure.
I mean, well, I'm in the scenario that witches aren't necessarily like witches need the cauldron. If we're talking like traditional witches, I don't know if they had like the wand and they're like rabbit. You know, I don't know if it worked that way with witches per se. So I just like the idea of squishing someone with a giant rock. I think that's kind of funny. Like,
I think ultimately this question is: we believe they're guilty. Do we think they should suffer or they should have a painless death?
yeah.
So I would say painless death. I don't believe
I
anyone
would
should
be
suffer.
worried that, like, crushing them under rocks, they wouldn't die fast enough, and they would have time to curse you. Whereas if you were hanging them, like, they're not going to be able to mutter words.
I feel like
But
if
they
you
could
believe
still
they're a
fucking-
witch, that's a good point. That crushing them with a rock, they would have time to fuck you up, right? Like,
Yeah.
But also,
Where
in
you
period
hang them,
times,
it's
we're
just
probably
like-
not thinking this far ahead.
That's a fair point. Yeah,
I
you're gonna
thought
be
they
like
caught the
these are.
witches.
In fucking period
I
time,
caught the
you're a
witches.
witch.
You're gonna be
Straight up.
like, I believe these are holy rocks.
I
so
mean-
they're not gonna be able to hex me around
In
these
the
rocks.
best way possible.
Yeah,
Shannon.
like-
Why? Because
Right.
I'm the smartest person in the room? Fair
yeah,
enough.
for sure. That's what we would all.
100%. So, would you rather be crushed with a rock or
I'd rather be hung.
then you're getting crushed with a rock?
Back in
That's
the
how it
day,
works.
if you were smarter than us, we would have been like, "You're a witch." Then we would kill you, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't be smarter.
And
You'd
than
say
us.
that's,
2 plus 2 is
and
4, and I'd
that's
be
why
like,
women didn't
burn a
have
bitch.
rights for
Witch.
so many years.
Okay, mine is. This is a fun 24 one. You are Jack Bauer. Your country
Yes.
is engaged in a war on terror.
Engaged.
In a war on terror. Many of your security advisors advocate the use of torture. Several legal experts have also supported the position. Do you use torture as a means of extracting information? It's very, very effective. Or use the power granted by you by the President of the United States to offer immunity from past and present crimes as a bargaining chip.
Torture.
I mean, it depends on the kind of torture we're talking here. We talking like easy torture or like ripping the fingernails out torture?
Whatever kind of torture you want. So you can start
Let
with
me read
easy
this
torture and
question.
then go to ripping fingernails
That's
out.
right.
Speaking
to
as
see.
someone who's watched 24, it doesn't go to the easy stuff. It's like
He
straight
starts
up to
right
level
up.
9.
He starts
yeah.
beating you. Jack Bauer
Blow
did,
torches.
He did like to
yeah.
torture, yeah.
Did he ever waterboard someone?
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like he
He's
went-
been waterboarded.
He went past waterboarding.
Yeah, no, like
Interesting.
Like,
Well, wait, what was
way
option
past.
B? I didn't even.
Use the
B-
power granted to you by the President of the United States to offer immunity from past and present crimes.
Basically, offer a deal, right? Like,
Or torture them?
Yeah.
I'm not a torturer.
I feel like torture is just not reliable. Like,
Why so surprised?
people will tell you whatever they think you want to hear on torture. Whereas if I don't know that they're gonna do better on a
so
deal,
many
but
people
will
are in
tell
jail
you
because they're like.
In theory, the immunity one makes more sense.
people will lie under torture, and that's
Because you just want the pain to stop.
Yeah.
You just
But my
want it to
only
stop.
scenario for the torture is the immunity doesn't stop them from doing future crimes.
for sure.
Yeah.
In theory, the torture you would keep them. You wouldn't just be like, "Oh, we waterboarded you for 24 hours. You're free to go." Like,
Oh, they'd be dead.
However,
yeah,
you also don't give them the chance to change their viewpoints, decide that they were wrong.
This is not
Make
the view
better
I expected from
choices.
Shannon.
I know, I'm like very against capital punishment and very against torture. Like, that should never happen. Every human being deserves to be treated with respect, even the ones
You
that
can
maybe
respectfully
don't
do it.
deserve respect.
sir, I'm going to pull out your fingernails.
I just don't
I'm
think
sorry.
I just don't think torture works in
No,
a pretty practical
yeah.
way. That's why I would say the immunity. I think the immunity is more likely to get you an actual
I'm not.
true answer because you could always revoke the immunity if the information ended up not being false
Yeah.
or not being true. Whereas the torture, if they lied under torture, they would just lie again and over again.
Realistically, yeah. Yeah, I think torture gets, aggrandized in movies and stuff like that to be, super... I'm going to use the term badass.
People, that's what I always hear is people will basically admit to anything under torture because it's torture, right? It's awful. You want it to stop no matter what.
Yeah.
So I would admit to doing whatever under torture.
Yeah, and I would just, throw names out. I'd be like, fuck it.
That's what
John Smith.
I feel like for me, I would cave immediately under torture and I would lie.
Just
100%. I would say whatever thought I needed to say to make the torture stop.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was true. So I don't think torture is very effective in that regard, but certainly every now and then you might get some true answers.
I'd be really curious to see the actual. I don't know if there are actual stats on it, but how accurate.
Trust me,
it has
there's
been
no
in the
actual
past.
stats on it because
Yeah.
nobody wants to admit that they're fucking
Yeah,
torturing
no,
people.
and that's fair. And if they were doing it, they wouldn't
I torture
catalog
people
the
every day
results.
at work. That's how I do things.
Are you sure that you're not tortured by your
That's what
boss?
happens when you lock that
I'm
manager
absolutely
room.
tortured by my boss. But that's neither here nor there.
When that manager room gets locked, that's what's your waterboarding.
Yeah, basically. Who does number 2 work for?
I just started. Never mind.
Tell me about bears and rabbits.
Yeah, right?
What?
That was a reference to
Oh,
Batman Begins, the movie.
your head
the
went
video
somewhere
game.
really bad. You gotta
Yeah.
share it with the world.
Well, yeah.
I
mean,
was
we're
thinking
here.
about
The 12 people that
waterboarding a
listen to
certain
this.
individual.
Yeah, but what information would you get out of him?
I wouldn't get any information. out.
That's the thing.
That's the thing about
No,
You
torture.
need to make him suffer, right?
You can get any information you want. It doesn't have to be true. They will tell you
Yeah.
whatever. Waterboarding, it sounds terrible.
It'd be worth it, right?
Waterboarding
Like,
sounds
it
like
makes you
the
feel good
worst thing
inside.
ever.
I feel like you torture me every day, and now I'm gonna physically make you pay.
I feel like it was on the Daily Show where they say even the top guy can only survive 30 seconds of waterboarding. It's just your brain
sure.
just tells you
Totally.
need to stop this.
Yeah.
It makes you think you're drowning.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
There is a part of me that would want to know what it's like. Just
Yeah, I've thought
I agree.
about it.
I want to try being waterboarded.
It's just
right? I
sit in the
agree.
bathtub
5
and turn it on.
seconds.
Just
What is waterboarding? Is
So
it
you have a cloth over your face and they pour water over you. So your brain thinks you're drowning, but you're never
Yeah.
actually in any danger of drowning. So it's not doing any physical damage to you, but it totally fucks you up mentally.
yeah. So in the torture, the torture scenario could obviously be a lot mental or physical.
yeah.
Basically, you're inclined, so your feet are up above your head, and they're pouring water onto you. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
seems
and
like
it-
water's
and it-
going up your nose, but it's never actually going up your nose because you have a cloth on top of you.
Yeah, it's at a constant.
So
rate.
it kind of it
It's-
makes you feel like you're drowning, but
It's
you're
supposed
never
to
actually
be
drowning.
Pretty horrible.
Yeah.
It's meant to simulate drowning, basically.
There's a movie that I watched. You guys might have seen. It was called Tank Girl. I don't know if anyone has seen.
Oh
Tank
no,
Girl.
I've never actually watched that. Yeah.
There's a torture scene in it where they put the main character into a tube that's 6 feet in diameter, but it gradually gets smaller.
Oh.
So they put her in upside down to the point where her head is basically stuck, and then they pour water down the tube so that it drains down and just gets to her head and starts dripping around her head. Scariest thing I've ever seen in my time.
Well, I know Chinese order torture.
That's what they
is
were-
where
It's
it
the same
drips,
drop on
and
the same.
you change the rate of the drips.
Yeah.
So that people can't tell how much time is passing.
Yeah.
So you start off by they drip every second, but then over time you like make it like every like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So like 12 seconds they feel like that's 1 second, and they start to go crazy, and then like.
Oh, see, I've never heard.
Of time. It's all about time with the drips.
You know,
Interesting. I've only ever heard that it was the same. But that makes more sense that
there's-
it changes the drips.
There's another one that is just like overstimulation, and so like they just put like goggles on, and then like just really good headphones, and just like this blaring noise, and they just leave you there.
That's apparently what they'll do at Guantanamo, where they'll
Yeah.
just play music
Yeah,
really
yeah.
loud at you.
What kind
For
of
like,
music we talking about?
Like
What kind of
classic
music?
rock.
Yeah!
Because we watched.
Pour some sugar on
We
me.
watched
I'll
like
go with
a
that.
documentary clip, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I was like a big fan of classic rock," and it's like this like Middle Eastern guy, and he's like, "So I just used to sing."
yeah,
the
he
lyrics
really
back
liked.
to them."
It was "Here I Go Again" on my own. He found the
Yeah.
lyrics very inspirational, so he would sing along. And the guards would get really pissed at him. He
That's
said-
fucking great.
And he was innocent too, so it's like,
Oh, that's even better.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Alright, so next one, green card, could be bad. Whoa, okay. Your dog gains the ability to read, but still can't talk. Do you buy him a pile of Marmaduke comics to enjoy while you are at work? Or remove all dog-themed comic books from your house because your dog may find them offensive? Holy shit, that's the dumbest thing I've
How
ever
about
heard.
I'm more worried about my dog murdering me in my sleep, because the more he reads, the more intelligent he gets, and then he realizes what a
That's
shitty
the-
life he has.
That's the weirdest card I've ever
just
seen.
talk about how we know that our dog can read.
Like, he's just like poring over, is he like fucking flipping the pages of fucking The Art of War? Like, I don't even understand.
I feel like he would like Marmaduke. I'm
You
going
have a
A.
conversation, you're like, did
If
you
we're
prefer
talking
this
Clifford,
character or this
that dog
character?
hates his life. But Marmaduke's just good. Marmaduke's a happy-go-lucky dog.
Clifford
I'm going.
loves his life.
I feel like I would give him
What are you talking about?
Garfield, really, and he would be like, yeah,
he
these
was such
cats
a happy
suck.
dog that he grew to be bigger than a house.
Yeah, but you gotta think that dog's probably in a shit ton of pain, right? Like, a dog that big, you know, I mean, I've heard big dogs have the shortest lifespans. They're always in pain for walking and stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that Clifford would probably make the dog think that you think he's dumb.
To be perfectly honest, even if my dog could read, there's no way that she could invest the time and energy into
Well, it's while
doing
you're,
it.
it's specifically while you're at work.
Yeah, no, my dog would be sleeping.
That's
Okay.
a fair point. You're like, it's not going to read either way, so I guess I'll get rid of the Marmaduke.
I'm still intrigued as to how I know the dog can read.
Yeah,
I guess I'm going to change because I think Marmaduke is terrible.
You're
Maybe
you're
I'll give him
psychic.
better stuff to read. So I'm going to
You
go.
know the dog can read because you're
So
psychic.
I'm a psychic with a
Cool.
dog that can
This
read.
is great.
Option C, just for my own, I'm taking that dog on the road.
Should we go option C? Should I read option C
Yeah,
here?
I'm intrigued by this. Okay.
Option C is do both A and B to prove that you aren't weak.
So, buy the comics and then throw them all away. That makes
C.
That is the perfect answer.
Option C is
I'm
bullshit every time. It doesn't make any sense.
That's
It's always
great.
like,
I'm
don't do
taking it.
either one.
I'm taking it. Option C's gonna happen. The dog is gonna be so confused, it's never gonna want to know it can read again.
I think I'm going to take B because Marmaduke comics are terrible. I would rather give him Garfield comics, even though they're pretty bad.
Yeah, I literally can't think of one dog in a comic I like except
Snoopy?
for Odie.
Snoopy.
Snoopy's good.
Snoopy's good. I like Snoopy.
He turns into Joe Cool.
I would give him Calvin and Hobbes.
Snoopy has this,
Show him that cats are more badass
I
than
don't-
dogs.
It's a good comic book.
Calvin Hobbes is great.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Marmaduke is terrible.
I feel like if my dog could read, I would want my dog to read like intelligent stuff.
I wouldn't want
But
my
then I'd also
dog to be
be
smarter
worried
than
about
me.
that.
That's what I would. I think you nailed it. I would give my dog Calvin and Hobbes instead of Marmaduke. Marmaduke is terrible. I give him Calvin and Hobbes and the Far Side. That's what I would
Yeah.
Farsight would fuck up a
Great.
dog, I'm not
do.
gonna lie.
Exactly. He hated the dog ones. He'd be like, "This is what you think of us?
Yeah.
This is racist. We're not all stupid. I can talk and read. I guess he couldn't talk.
He
I
couldn't
don't know.
talk, yeah. I have no idea.
You know, it would be really hilarious to give your dog like a Tumblr account and just like sign him up.
Is that like that
Subscribe.
Family Channel show, Dog with a Blog? You know,
Yeah,
That's what
right.
it is.
That's awesome. But the dog can't type.
No, but it can just read Tumblr. Make a Tumblr dog. Do you know how hilarious that would
But
be?
I don't know if it could like function the computer. If it could make the computer work.
Okay, I'll make the.
I mean,
It
it can
can
read.
read.
It can, but it doesn't say that it can perform the actions that it reads, right?
Maybe it
And I mean,
can
how's a
communicate to me
dog
to
gonna
Tumblr.
use a fucking mouse? Like, it's gonna be like, what do I do?
You will like engineer a doggy mouse.
I wouldn't.
I can just
Fuck that dog.
Just imagine a dog like.
Yeah, he probably would. It's like
finding a
Skynet for
safe
dogs. Barknet, not gonna happen. I'm out.
My dog got triggered.
I would just give my dog Harry Potter and be like, fall in love, or you can go to the pound.
I'm killing that dog and buying a cat.
I give my dog Grant Morrison's Batman run and be like, if you don't get this, I'm gonna fucking send you to the pound and you're gonna get executed.
That makes
Way to take my
Brutal to
joke.
your dog.
Way to take
Both
my
those
joke.
are good. Both those are good. It depends on the kind of dog you have, really. You know, because I mean, if it's a serious dog, definitely gonna get like you know. But if it's a dog that people are already afraid of, I'm gonna give him Harry Potter. Like, that's
I guess
it.
it depends on your kind of dog.
Yeah, you know, like if I'm getting Cujo, you can read Cujo. That's fine. That's cool.
Have you ever seen the movie Cujo?
Mm-hmm.
Is it good? I've heard the movie is good.
It's good. I mean, I don't find it scary, but that's because if I like, it's just a dog. Like, if a dog's gonna attack me, I can probably like defend myself. I've never been attacked by a dog, mind you, but realistically, like I can close the door. Like I can if it jumps at me, I can move. Like
Unless the dog is like huge, like a husky, like
Yeah.
huge,
and it's
you
one
just pet them really good.
use a pit bull. Yeah, even if it's a dog like that, you kick it in the jaw. Like if you get right under there on it, you're probably gonna fucking kill it.
Or the ribs hard enough, like
Anything.
they'll yelp and they'll run away.
Yeah.
That book's
They
really
were
good.
easy meals.
And did you know that Stephen King was so heavy into his prescription drug addiction that he does not remember writing Cujo at all.
Or Dreamcatcher.
Or Dreamcatcher, yeah, he doesn't remember writing them at all. I
That
think
doesn't
Cujo is one of his best books, legitimately.
Cujo's it's like a good book. I
It
like
is.
it a
It's
lot.
really good, and it's apparently it's like kind of a sequel to what's the one with Christopher Walken where the guy sees the Dead Zone? It's kind of a sequel
yeah.
to the Dead Zone, sort of. One of the dudes who died in the Dead Zone is like supposed to have possessed the dog.
Oh really?
They talk about it in the book Cujo about how one of the cops like recognizes the dog's eyes and how he's like his former partner.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
very strange.
I
but,
don't think I read the Dead Zone, so that was
I didn't read the
awesome.
Dead Zone ever, but I know it was a TV show.
I do like me some Walken.
Your dog starts talking to you one day.
Holy shit!
What's with all the dog questions, guys?
Sam,
None of us have a dog.
He finally got tired of being called Snuggles when his real name, given to him by his bitch mother, is Jeff. He then loudly expresses a desire to lick his crotch. Do you sell Snuggles for $1 million to the circus? Keep Snuggles and tell no one about his ability.
I sell Snuggles because Snuggles is an ungrateful bitch.
I beat him until he tells me his name is Snuggles. 100%. This is my dog now.
You created your own option C.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take option B because I've always wanted a smart pet, like a Pikachu type, where it's like your pet, but he's like your
So
buddy
he's
as
just always
well.
saying Jeff at you?
Exactly. I'm like, my name is Jeff,
And loudly exclaiming how he wants to lick his crotch.
Which that'd be fine with me. I don't understand why I would name a dog Snuggles.
Yeah, already I'm in the wrong for
Yeah.
doing that.
2, do we have circuses anymore? Do they still exist?
No, I
I
really
haven't heard.
wish
I
they
haven't seen a
did.
circus around.
If you're my father, it's like the fair where the rides come. He calls that the circus. 'Cause
Yeah, but
he's
I always
from-
think like.
he's in Nova Scotia, so that's the circus.
But I always consider like a circus like traveling like bar on a
Yeah.
Bailey thing.
You need at least one tent, to be a circus.
And they have to be filled with carnies that all smell like cabbage.
To be fair, a lot of the stuff that, like,
To us.
circuses, like, did, like, the whole, like, lion tamer,
Yeah.
or, like, the bearded woman and stuff,
You
like,
can't do that anymore.
they just don't
You
work.
literally,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
literally can't have an elephant in a
No.
circus anymore. Like,
Basically,
they
the idea of
outlawed
a freak
that.
show, I think, seems abhorrent to a modern person. Like, it's
Yeah.
No, maybe.
it's
You don't put
terrible.
Elephant Man in a cage now. You
I
get
would.
him medical surgery and take care of him.
Am I not a man?
Also, realistically, $1 million, not enough in this scenario for me. It's a fucking talking dog.
That's
You
what
could get way more than $1 million.
I feel like a buddy that is only your buddy, like has nothing
Yeah.
else but like being a sounding board for you. That's worth anything. That's worth any amount of money.
Yeah, right?
Like,
And in this scenario where you don't tell anyone, that's not saying that your dog's not going to talk to other people. So if you guys come over, the dog's going to be like, "What's up, I'm Jeff."
yeah,
And
exactly.
then
He's
gonna
going to
lick
be
his
the
crotch.
fifth person to be our.
Yeah,
our
and
world.
I'm going to see him like roll some dice with his tiny paws. And
we
I
can
like,
pull the cards for him, you know.
Exactly.
It's like he's got a disability.
doesn't say
you
he
know?
can read though.
That's true. We
So
need the
how-
other dog.
Hmm.
We would
Well-
need both dogs from each scenario.
Also, I would like to say it says he can talk, but not at what level. Maybe he talks at like a 2-year-old level where he's like, "Food now."
But he
Okay.
does tell you his name is Jeff.
See, but a 2-year-old 2-year-old will be like, my name is Sam, and then when you say it wrong, they'll be like, no, I said Stan.
Excellent point. If the dog can't talk to the point where he's not annoying, I would sell him because I don't want him.
But that's
to be
not
more-
necessarily saying also that you couldn't teach the dog.
Fair point.
I assume
yeah.
that the dog would be able to speak to the same level that you speak because he would have learned it from you.
I guess, like, in the real world, I'm allergic to dogs, so I would sell him, like...
Why am I owning this dog?
You have a lot of dogs for someone who's
And
allergic.
Shannon is also allergic to dogs. so-
I'd keep my dog.
You would keep
No, I'd sell him. I
Shannon,
don't care.
what if your hedgehog started talking?
We can say
That's what, like, when the question
I'm
came up, I was
Sonic.
like, I'm just gonna apply the word hedgehog, and I would keep it forever. I would never sell my hedgehog.
yeah. If it was,
as our
I'm
dog.
gonna instead of hedgehog or dog, it's gonna be roommate. He can already talk. I'm not gonna sell him. It's fine.
If it's
See,
my
if I could
hedgehog,
bite
it-
me every day for the rest of my life, peel over me, and talk, I would never get rid of her.
That's what I'm Elliot, and it's my ET. I'm gonna keep it secret forever. Like,
Yeah.
if my hedgehog starts talking,
You get Reese's Pieces.
yeah,
that way?
I already love her 100%. I'm gonna keep her safe forever.
I
My
get that.
dog's like 8 years old, so, she's gonna be dead soon.
Sell her. That's a fair
Mine's
point.
a baby. She's a baby.
She's a baby. Exactly. If our hedgehog was like, she's got a year left, maybe I would sell her.
Yeah, my roommate's like 35. In human years, that's like
35.
I love how you
5.
keep referring to your roommate as a pet.
that's all I got.
My hedgehog's 6 months.
in roommate years,
That's what
like,
she's got 4.5
15.
years probably, so I would keep her.
That's
but
Minimum.
if she was at 5, maybe I'd sell her. I don't even think I would.
She
But
could live till she's 10.
if it's literally our hedgehog, I would keep her forever.
And yeah, and that makes sense. Like at 5, you'd have so much of emotional attachment.
So I love
like,
her. I love
like,
her already at 6
At
months.
6 months, I couldn't.
If this thing is immediately talking like day 1, I'd be like, fuck, I can make so much money off this. But if it's like starts talking a year and a half
best
in,
friend.
yeah, I'd be like, well, you can stick around. That's it.
It'd be like it's Sailor Moon. She'd be like my advisor. That's what. Not that she's smart. I guess again the question
Wait,
isn't that
the
she's
cat.
smart.
Luna.
She's giving good advice.
I like the white
And
cat.
Artemis.
That's,
But I-
Artemis is my
that's the
favorite.
one for
That's
me.
what I would
Everyone
love. I feel like a lot of
mentions
kids'
Sailor
cartoons
Moon.
and anime
It's
have
good
that.
up until episode about 84 that they changed voice
Now,
actors
Sailor-
and then don't bother. In my
Venus
opinion.
was the white cat?
Venus has
Venus
yeah.
was the white
She
cat.
was the hot one
She was the
whatever.
other blonde one.
she was orange,
Orange.
though. Yeah. No, I actually like Sailor Jupiter, the green one. She looked mean.
I have a Sailor Jupiter costume.
Which I don't remember. Which
Lena.
one? Yeah, I like Lena. Yeah,
Lena.
we were watching Sailor Moon
Oh, is
for a little
that
bit.
Jupiter?
Lena is Jupiter.
I like Sailor Moon. I got
Ray
no
is
beef with it.
Mars. Serena's Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Venus is...
I don't know what Sailor Venus'
Oh,
real name is.
it was Lena and Mina.
Yes, Mina.
Mina was
And
Venus.
then Mercury is...
Ray.
No, Ray was
Ray's
fire.
Mars.
Oh,
Mercury.
Venus.
Mercury, the blue one.
Oh, it's like Annie, but it isn't Annie. I don't remember what
Amy?
it is.
Amy.
It's Amy.
It's
It is Amy.
I
Yes.
just guessed.
You
Well
nailed that, Pat.
So, I think it's you.
She had the
that
short
dropped
hair,
it.
pulled it off pretty good. I'm on board with it.
And then Mini is...
Oh, Chibi Moon?
I didn't think I
Mini
got
Moon.
to the point where
Mini Moon.
Mini Moon got in.
No, we're not there.
I liked Venus.
Are you
I
guys
liked
at the point where Tuxedo Mask is Moonlight Night yet?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's Mini Moon.
We basically got to the point where Sailor Venus got introduced. We got to
Okay.
get back into it, but
I enjoyed it.
it's good. Yeah, I like it.
First of all, just take this to heart.
Oh, okay.
You deserve a raise. Your boss is sympathetic but says she can't give you a raise because of the economic slowdown. You know this is bullshit.
Minimum wage went up. What the fuck?
The company is making more money than ever. Do you? A, quit to look for a new job. However, due to the actual economic slowdown, it's a tough job market out there. Or B, accept your wage but steal office supplies constantly.
This is
I like this
way
where-
too close to home.
I like that where they never give you a real, like an easy out. I like that they give you, like, even if one is positive, there's sort of a negative to it. Like, you stay but you steal, or you leave but there's not a good job.
I'll stay and
I
I'll bring
was
it up
stealing-
every day, and I'll take an office supply every day.
I
And I'll
say-
take, like, expensive stuff. I'll take, like, laminating sheets.
Whoa.
I think B, I don't think I'm principled
I think
enough
it's like
to
80
not
bucks.
work, but I
Oh, okay,
think
I don't know.
I would totally steal.
Desk
For, like,
drawers.
a pack of, like, 100 laminating sheets.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I've never stolen from work in my life. I'm not going to start now. I choose to plead the fifth in this scenario.
Of course, none of us have, ever.
Awkward.
In the hypothetical situation that I
Option C.
did,
Option C is what I am picking. What's your choice first?
I'm probably gonna quit.
I feel like option C is very positive because Patrick has chosen this.
Put a bag over their head and pretend they're a sack of potatoes.
C.
Option C, 100%.
I agree.
Oh my god, that was fucking
Those are
terrifying.
easy.
I think realistically I would take P. I don't think I would want to not work out of principle versus taking money out of, not really caring.
I get
Yeah,
that.
it's better to have a paycheck that's not paying you enough than to have no paycheck.
That's true.
Depression's a thing.
Okay, we got a Yella here.
Like
Due to-
clinical depression or like the Great Depression?
Well, both in theory.
Okay.
I mean,
I just didn't know what
Nice.
you were referring to.
This is an interesting one. Due to extreme circumstances, you have been forced to leave your spouse and take employment as a sailor on a grand voyage. Over the duration of your trip, you have a relationship with another crew member. Over time, your lust grows uncontrollably. When you return to port, do you leave your spouse for Salty Bob and start a new life out at sea, or return to your spouse?
This is difficult.
This is a weird one. I feel like I don't. It
What's
feels
nice
like
both. Maybe
you need-
maybe we want to have a
well, there's a potential option C that you might
amorous
go about.
situation here.
so you're keeping option C open, basically. I just don't.
I mean, realistically, in a scenario where I like the ocean and want to be a sailor, I would want to go back out to sea. You
That's
know,
what
like-
it doesn't say if you like the job, though. It
Yeah,
says
well,
due to extreme
I
circumstances.
mean, his name's Salty Bob, so I probably wouldn't be on board with it, because Salty Bob doesn't seem like he treats
You
me
could
like a
assume
lady.
you could assume Salty Bob is a woman if you want. Like if that
I don't
makes
think
it
Salty
better.
Bob, as a woman, would
Roberta?
treat me as a man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I feel like if I already
But
took
maybe you'd
the
like it that way.
if I already took the job to help my life, which is like presumably including my spouse, I would stay with my spouse. If I already took this job to keep my regular life
That-
somewhat
I
intact,
guess,
it
but
makes
like
the
if
most sense.
things didn't work out when you came back, then you could just leave
Yeah, you
your
can
spouse.
still make love to the sea.
that's what I feel like. Salty Bob's still gonna be there, you know. Like
Salty Bob, you know, he sticks around.
Salty Bob's
Salty
not
Bob is as sure as the ocean is
like
rough.
probably your spouse is
Yeah,
not
ooh,
gonna.
That's good.
Your spouse is not going to come back if you already left them for Salty Bob, so I would agree with that. I feel like Salty
That makes
Bob
sense.
is going to be waiting. Your spouse is probably not going to wait if you choose
Like if you were to
Salty
go
Bob.
home to your spouse, realize you're super unhappy, get a divorce, and then track down Salty Bob and be like, "You're the love of my life." Like Salty Bob's probably gonna be like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Let's give it a try. I feel like Salty Bob is open. I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Unless Salty Bob is on the Perfect Storm ship, in which case they're not going to be
Done.
there.
I agree. I'm at least going to make the effort with my spouse. If the original reason I went to sea in the first place
Was for them.
was for the spouse,
Thanks. I'm glad that you don't jump straight to cheating in this situation.
It's uncontrollable lust. That's not fair.
I just want to say I feel like I've changed my answer on the first one too. Like the last game we played. I feel like the guilt is not worth it. I feel like the guilt is going to sour any positive interaction you're going to have if you stay in the relationship. If you cheat, this is
Guilt
like
will eat you alive.
that's what I feel like. If you
They
cheated,
talked about this a lot after.
Well, yeah, I mean, it
we
makes
live
sense.
together.
Yeah, if I cheated on my roommate, that's
that's what I feel like. If
If I
you
lived with
cheated
another
on
man,
if you cheated on your roommate and then you kept trying to have a legitimate relationship with your roommate, it would fuck you up because every time they did something great for you, you'd be like, I don't deserve this because I'm a fucker. Or you'd be a sociopath
And then
who
you'd
just
get like depressed, and then you'd have to. They'd be like, "Why are you so sad?" And you'd be like, "I'm worthless," and they'd be like, "No, you're not." And you'd be like,
and you'd be like, yeah, I actually am, but I can't tell you why. Yeah.
I'm not a man
Wow.
who feels a lot of guilt. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've done a lot of bad things. You need to move forward eventually.
And so I guess before I was thinking, everything for me
Yeah.
comes down to Mad Men. There's a scene in Mad Men where Don is talking to Peggy and he says she's pregnant and he's like, pretend this didn't happen. You'll be amazed how much this didn't happen. And that was my thinking the first time where I was like, oh, you could just pretend it didn't happen. And like at some point you would just push it out of your mind and you wouldn't even think about it. But I feel like for me, I would probably always think about
Dawn
it.
doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself, though.
I love Mad Men.
Season 1 Dawn is just like the worst person
I
on the planet.
probably would continually think about it, but I wouldn't necessarily think about it in a guilty way. I don't have a spouse that I have cheated on, so I don't know. I'm not going to say it.
I guess ultimately I wouldn't want to be cheated on. So to be like perfectly honest, I wouldn't want to be cheated
You
on.
said
What are you
last
gonna
time
say?
you said it was fine as
things
long as you
that
didn't know.
don't
That's
want
what I'm
people-
saying.
if they
Like
listen to the
I think
podcast, I
even
don't want people to know.
without knowing, like
We can
even
discuss later, that's fine.
Even with my spouse without knowing, I think it would eat me alive personally.
Really, you should just be an open book, though. You got a podcast.
I think that would probably be a bad scenario if that happened.
Let me tell you, we listened to a murder podcast, and today they talked about dressing up as a drag queen like John Benet Ramsey, and like if they could say that on a podcast,
Yeah, but I'm
you can
saying
say
it
whatever
about,
you're gonna say.
I'm saying it about. Well, I mean, I can say that I have slept with a married woman.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say anything more on that.
If I had a nickel for every time I've heard someone on a podcast say they hope their significant other is not listening to the podcast, I'd be pretty rich.
That's
Like,
true.
it happens a lot.
It does. It does.
Or just like someone in their life that they, like the number of times I've heard someone say, I hope my mom isn't listening to this podcast.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
the mob. That's all I can think is.
Yeah.
I hope my parents
I
never
really
come
hope my
across
mom
this.
isn't listening to this podcast.
I don't think
I don't
my
think
mom
my
can work
mom-
a computer. I'm fine.
I don't think my mom knows what podcasts are.
Yeah,
so-
no, I'm A-okay. My mom still, like, calls me when she means to text. I'm good.
I think if my mom knew what podcasts are and she knew what this podcast was, she couldn't get it. Even if she wanted to.
My
like-
dad figured out something on his cell phone that even I didn't know how to do, and he had to teach me, and it was the weirdest experience
how
in
to
my
type?
life.
There's how to do the new
Tell you what.
the fireworks
No.
thing on.
You can on the
Oh,
iPhone.
yeah.
I
I
had
can
no
show you
idea
that.
about. Oh, yeah, well I know now, but like he did it, and I was
Didn't
like, "Did you do that on purpose?" And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
Yeah, you
now how do I do
slam the
it?
text message or whatever. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. This is a long one. Shit. Okay. All right.
"Yeah, you gotta read. Too bad we don't have that dog that
Yeah,
can
right.
talk and
Damn
read."
it. You can't talk.
Oh, we need both those dogs. One to read and one to talk.
Yeah, they
How
can
do they-
communicate
yeah, they-
in dog
yeah,
between
right.
the two of them.
The dog can talk already.
As part of an experiment, you are given a bowl of chili with a bottle of hot sauce and told to spice the chili as much or as little as you want. Then, someone behind a one-way mirror is going to eat the entire bowl without ever seeing you. You recognize the person behind the mirror as an old bully from elementary school. Do you add a little to no hot sauce or add a debilitating amount of hot sauce?
Debilitating.
I
I fucked that person up.
I don't
Big
think there's
time.
enough hot sauce in that bottle. I mean, I've never had a bully, so I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people, hot sauce doesn't even bother them, so I'd be like, fuck, whatever.
You know, I probably like.
Michael was the bully, right?
I was the bully in school.
I don't feel like Michael was the bully. I don't.
Guys.
No, Mike was the loser that wore a trench coat and walked in the zone. Let's be honest with you. He was John
It was
Benet.
a black hoodie.
No, sorry, my bad. My
The
bad.
only one.
Yeah, right?
The way I interpret this is that if there's someone on the other side that I feel like legitimately deserves it, I give them all the hot sauce I can.
Yeah,
First of
I'll go
all,
with that.
as somebody
So,
who had
Tweedledum, Tweedledee.
many bullies, I would pretty much do anything I could to fuck them up.
You give them the hot sauce.
However, I would like to say before we even get to bully, I was just like, I'm gonna give them all the fucking hot sauce, because why the fuck not?
Yeah, and I mean, at
Yeah,
this
they'll
point
be
in time,
fine. They just drink some milk, right? And they'll be fine.
yeah, at
Like-
this point in
Oh, even
time,
if they get a stomach ulcer, like,
yeah, like it's gonna go away.
Yeah,
At this point
exactly.
in time, I would like, as soon as they drowned it, they were like, I'd fucking boot open that door and be like, it was me, you fucking son of a bitch. And then I'd like slap him in the face and walk away.
That's your option C, is that you get to tell them it was you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Matt's option C's are just way more
there,
entertaining.
there weren't a lot of bullies in my school. I mean, I went to Gish in St. Albert. Like, I graduated, or I like got to through grade 9 with like 63 people. So everyone was realistically friends
was
in
it
high
a fucked
school.
up school when you went there?
Well, I got there the year after they burned down the tire park. There was an entire playground that was made of tires, and kids burned it down. And I got there a year after.
Nice.
Yeah, I
That's-
guess.
At least something.
And even in high school, I was basically like Mike, but fatter. Like, no, I didn't talk to anyone. I just kind of stayed on my own
Well,
and like
you
listened to
couldn't be
music. Like,
skinnier than Mike.
that's true.
Facts.
I'm fine with this. I was Mike, but dropped down. I was taller than him and dropped down 6 or 7 pounds.
No fucking way.
So 6'2",
My hunch is just fucking
and
rough.
like
You were
120
inside
pounds.
out.
Yeah,
you were
basically.
like, you were literally like just in between.
Skinny
Actually,
bones.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cold,
I was cold.
Cold
in high
is the
school.
only person I've ever met that is skinnier than you, Mike.
And tall. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm fine with that. Yeah. So I didn't have any bullies, but at that point in time, hot sauce isn't going to do anything. And I mean, it doesn't say what hot sauce, so I'm just thinking a bottle of Tabasco.
Exactly. It's not
No,
like you're.
you know what? Freaking ghost pepper. Sure, let's go.
But I mean, there is a point where if you have too much of like the hottest
Okay.
hot sauce, they can die.
yeah, assumably,
I don't care.
I assume medical staff is on by, but you know what? I had bullies that literally almost killed me in school.
That's fair.
So you know what?
Punishment.
I would be happy to watch them die.
I feel like this question assumes that they're probably not going to die.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and I mean that's also like
It says possibly
It's gotta-
debilitating.
yeah, and it's got to be a bowl. Like if they're
Yeah.
having one and then they're like to the point where they can't have any more, is someone going to come in and continually feed them? Is it like that Harry Potter 6 thing where like he has to continually feed him that goddamn water?
Or like in 7 where he's feeding him the pasta.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And the first guy in 7, the gluttony guy, he's feeding him pasta.
Seven,
Yeah.
the movie
Yeah,
Seven.
with Kevin
Oh,
Spacey.
I
Not
thought
the
we were
seventh
talking
Harry
about the
Potter
seventh
book.
Harry Potter, and
Oh,
I was,
no.
In
I
Harry
was
Po-
so
Harry Potter, like they love
Yeah, the bit in
acid
Harry,
ones.
in Harry Potter 7 where he's feeding Voldemort pasta.
Oh,
I was like,
man.
guys.
I read
I'll
this book
show
like
you fucker tortellini all day.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
there was
right?
one. There was a video I was watching the other day. It was like read Harry Potter and replace the word wand with penis.
Oh my god.
I think. I mean,
They had a penis fight in the trophy room.
It
Some
only
of them-
works until he
Ron's
does not
penis.
change anything.
I think you would like at the beginning. I'd be like, "This is fucking great," and then I'd think about it and be like, "These kids are 11. I'm done with this book." Like,
Once again,
this is
yeah.
fucking weird.
Chamber of Secrets where they really get into the dueling.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Like,
and
this is
Ron-
fun.
Like, Gilderoy Lockhart grabbed Ron's broken penis.
Yeah, and when they talk about Hermione's
That's what it
penis,
is. Yeah, Rod's broken penis.
Yeah, like-
the second book
and
would be
I mean,
fucked
the
up.
be
the
like
fact that he
Ron's
breaks
broken
his own
penis,
penis,
Ron's
like he gets in a car crash, breaks his dick.
He
I'm
bre-
not reading that book.
He
guys.
breaks it and he keeps using it throughout
Yeah.
the book.
What else
That's
are you
what the
gonna do
problem is.
though? I mean, you gotta still use it. You
And
gotta
then-
go.
And
He's
then
still shooting out of
after
it.
Lockhart uses the broken penis, it's so bad that he loses all his memories.
Yeah, well, it would make sense to me at that point in time.
Makes sense.
So wait, how did we get there?
Did you read the last one, Mike, or did Pat?
The newest one?
Yeah,
With Chris
the
Child?
newest question. I
Oh,
mean.
it's Mike's turn.
It's
Give him
Mike,
some time.
Michael's
He can't breathe right now.
I just didn't
He's
know.
still thinking about Ron's broken penis.
The broken wand, yeah. The broken penis that shoots
Or
slugs
like
out
book
of
7,
it.
like, you know,
Oh.
like Voldemort thinks that he has control of Dumbledore's penis,
He thinks
but
Dumbledore
really
has like the world's best dick.
Draco had control of the penis,
Yeah.
but then Harry got
Yeah.
the penis from Draco and had control
They're
of the
just like
penis.
passing around. Does anyone
Voldemort
see Blue
spoke to
Mountains?
Lucius.
All these
I
high
need your
school,
penis.
these high school age
He grabbed
boys
it
that
and
are like,
compared,
I want the elder penis.
Yeah.
The elder penis is what I
And
want.
he's Dumbledore's penis is the elder penis.
Yeah. Has,
He's like 100 and something
yeah.
years old.
Has
That's
anyone
gross.
seen Blue Mountain State? No. There's an episode where one guy has a pocket pussy and they pass it around, and that's just kind of what I'm envisioning right now. But they're just like passing around a giant like 12-inch dildo, and I'm like, this is the weirdest fucking book I've
That's
ever read.
the
in my
elder
But
entire
it's
life.
nice wrinkly because it's the elder penis.
It would have to be.
And the mirror era said penis, you know. It's all there.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's.
That's
I think the later books would be more entertaining. The beginning would get like it'd be awkward for me.
It would just exactly it wouldn't come up for a long time, then it would come up and you'd be like,
Yeah,
fuck
for the
up.
first like 50 pages, you'd be like, okay, Harry's got this, and then Hagrid says, "You'll have to get your penis, Harry." Excuse me? Like what now? And then he
Harry
says,
would be like, I lost my penis. And you'd be like,
"They broke my penis. I keep it in this umbrella."
I lost my penis and I have
Ugh.
a pink umbrella instead now, and you'd be like, I don't know what to make of that, Hagrid.
Are you gonna penetrate in your pink umbrella?
What do you
I just
do with
like he just opens it, just like torn in half, dick just like flops to the ground. Like, oh my god! Oh,
I'm
that's
thinking
amazing.
of that STD thing you were talking about.
Oh, the STD pen?
Yeah.
I tell you guys about the STD
I
pen.
don't think so, no.
So in the early 70s, they didn't have a lot of medication for STDs. So what they would have is
Yeah, because
basically
they were still telling you to not have sex.
exactly. So an STD pen was basically like a small rod that they would jam up a male's urethra. They would press a button, and it would umbrella out, and the parts on the parts that would umbrella out are
So kids
basically
in the
like
sandbox.
so what?
You ever watched-
What?
It's like a GIF.
You
that
haven't seen kids in the
it's
sandbox?
very famous on the internet. It's a woman showing basically a candle of a
I think
man's
it's a
urethra.
dildo. It's like a long dildo.
I guess I call it a candle because it starts skinny and gets longer, you know?
It's a dildo.
Basically, she shoves a dildo up a man's urethra and you kind of see it splitting. It's the most fucked up thing I've ever seen on the internet.
Okay, I have
I am surprised because usually like it's my favorite thing to bring up anytime I'm with guys because they always go,
Well, this one, when it umbrellas out, the part that umbrellas out are like basically like razor blades, and the doctor would yank it out, and all of the infection, pus, blood, whatever would come out with it.
That's hurt me. Man.
Right? I almost got Spencer to
It
puke
was
at
amazing.
work. Because it doesn't faze me at all. I'm like,
It's
well,
just
they don't
like-
use it anymore. We
They're
have
just-
pills, I'm
They're
fine.
just chatting about this online.
At no point in my day could I envision someone jamming this up my pee hole
That's what Mike's-
and being like,
Mike's
zing!
fucking spinning
Like,
around this corkscrew. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right?
imagine that going up my
And-
urethra. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want that.
and I was just like, yeah, like, whatever. Like, I know it's not going to happen to me. Spencer was seemingly convinced that I had one, and that I could not only hit him
He
with such...
understands how old you are, right? Like,
don't
you weren't
think so.
having sex
Well, he
in
thinks
the
I'm some sort of
70s.
like weird masochist. I don't know. But he also thought that I could hit him with such accuracy that I could, I imagine, get into the urethra of his flaccid penis through his pants with like minimal effort of just like zing, whing, no STD while we're at work. It's not the quickest of cats.
That I believe that Spencer would believe that.
Yeah, and I'm
Hopefully
intrigued to see.
Spencer
Like,
doesn't listen to the podcast.
I hope he does. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
I'm just not going to say anything.
I'm gonna bring him to the next
That'll
one.
be my
That's
life.
fine.
I feel like
Great.
Spencer would be good on the podcast.
I think he'd have a great time with it.
I feel like I would have an argument with
Did I do
Spencer.
this one or did?
No, I
Mike
got
did.
one here.
Oh.
Okay, it's Michael's turn. Yes.
He was
As the-
laughing too hard.
Yeah, no, I couldn't
Yeah,
breathe.
and then we
It actually like hurt a
Rod's
little.
penis.
Yeah.
You are the governor of the republic. You want to discourage young people from engaging in a life of crime.
STD pen. Fact.
Do you A, sentence extremely dangerous prisoners to death via humane method? Or B, sentence extremely dangerous prisoners to a life of solitary confinement?
For me, I would sentence extremely dangerous prisoners to death, humanely, but all I would have it so that if they're not dangerous, they're still in solitary confinement. So that everyone gets punished in an awful way so that no one is committing crimes.
I think for me, I just don't believe that we can ever 100% know that someone did something. So I don't believe in the death penalty.
We could
because
say it's
of-
like Minority Report, though. Like, you know that they did.
Yeah, I guess even then, I'm like, if it's before they did it, I don't know that they necessarily would have done it. So
Isn't
I
it-
think solid. For me, I don't believe in the afterlife. That's what it is for me. So I don't believe in hell. So I don't think that if you kill someone, they're going to be punished. I think they're just going to not exist anymore.
I think solitary confinement is worse than the nothingness of death.
Exactly.
To spend every day by yourself, honestly, I wouldn't want to do that to anybody. I'd rather kill them.
I think I would.
Oh, see,
Especially because what happens when you stick that innocent person in solitary confinement.
I
They're
disagree.
miserable for the rest of
I
their life.
disagree. I think if it's an innocent person and they're in solitary confinement for 20 years,
Never.
at least you can
Yeah.
release them. If
And
you
they're
kill,
going to be crazy, and then they're going to
I-
kill people.
but
I
if
was
you
in
kill,
solitary, probably.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not the average person, Mike.
okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking the
Mike-
average person.
There's
Yeah.
only so many times you can jack off in one room.
You'd be
But the
surprised what that number
voice
is,
is in
though.
my head.
I mean, that realistically, that number's it's obviously the mental simulation's going to go down, but for the first little bit, that's all I'm doing.
I don't
Like,
think the room matters. I don't think.
I think it depends. For me, it would depend on like where. Like, am I in just like a small room? Like what space am I in?
I think for me it depends if people clean up after me. Or not.
You're in like a 10
I don't
by
like
10
people.
cell with a cot
10
and
by
a
10's
toilet.
fucking huge, though.
But
That's like
okay,
this. That's bigger than
Yeah.
this.
here's
That's
my
huge.
question.
You have to have a huge cell for solitary confinement.
Here's my question.
It's
If
torture otherwise.
I masturbate, do people clean up after me, or does the
you
mess?
just live in your filth.
Then,
No, well,
then
I mean-
yes, that I wouldn't not.
Well, but you
continue
still have to
forever.
do it in a humane fashion, so people would be
Well,
cleaning.
you said there's a toilet.
I think if there's a toilet, then it's fine.
I don't know if I could aim into the toilet every time. I mean, sometimes it just kind of like
If
goes.
there's a toilet, there's probably
I think
paper.
if you're in solitary
sink to wash your
confinement,
hands?
that's totally fair. That you're not going to
And
make
your
it into the
penis?
toilet.
I would go
Every
so
time.
crazy, so fast.
Your face.
It would take a week.
I feel like I would go insane too, but I'd be okay with how
Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy.
I would be so okay with it.
Is there a way that I could put a camera in to show the kids just how crazy these people get? Well, because I mean, if I want no one to commit crimes, I'd want to be like, this is what's going to happen. This is how you're going to like degrade and like what's going to see. I don't
mean-
want to like open the door and be like, this is crazy Jim. Like, I don't want to do that. But I'd be like, this is real life. He's right fucking there.
Yeah, and
You
I
know.
mean, From the question, it sounds like you have absolute authority in this matter.
I mean,
You're a
it does-
dictator, I feel like.
It does
yeah.
make sense.
You can do whatever you want.
It does make the solitary confinement makes more sense to me. Death is like the most awful thing you can do, but we're not talking about me specifically. We're talking about what's going to happen, like what's going to happen to the psyche of all these people.
I'd rather be dead than tortured, and solitary confinement is 5 steps away from getting tortured.
That's what I would rather. I would rather like not execute an innocent person.
In my mind, the thing
Would
is,
you rather they go
it
crazy?
comes down to...
Yeah, I would, because then I could at least could release them, and they could maybe be rehabilitated, even if it's only.
Or they're going to become that crazy murderer the first time.
But if they're dead, they're 100% dead, and they're never not going to be dead.
So?
I'm-
They're not a criminal anymore.
But
Or nothing.
oh, there's an option C there.
Even if I create a criminal, there's a chance they might be happy in their criminal. I mean, that's fucked up, but like, if they were wrongly accused of a crime and they are released and then they commit a crime, I really blame them, to be perfectly honest. But I also don't think they should have died for the first crime.
And I would say that you wouldn't necessarily release them right away. You would release them into, like, you would have steps to rehabilitate them as much as you could, and then assess into a certain scenario.
I guess for me, like, I'm willing to accept the mistakes that come with not executing to avoid executing even one innocent person. I don't want to execute even one innocent person.
If I am the governor creating this policy, I don't care about the individual. This is entirely about reducing crime and then ultimately allocating those resources to other things. Therefore, it doesn't matter which one is more terrifying.
Do you know what
It's
the
which
solution
one
is
costs
to reduce
less.
crime?
Sorry?
Put more money in education. That's the solution.
Exactly. And solitary confinement will always cost more than lethal injection. Because,
For sure.
so, kill them.
Maybe you don't even have to go by lethal injection. Maybe
Yeah.
you're like, I
Hang
want
them.
to ground, and then
that
you
would,
just,
in
like,
theory,
drown
be the
them.
most humane way, as is completely specified in the card.
But, whatever, you have a humane way
Maybe
of
they
doing it.
choose the way
Humanely
they
push
go.
him off a cliff.
If I was going to die, I would
Many
be
people,
100%
many
okay
people
with that.
believe if you make a jump that high, that you actually die before you hit the ground.
Really?
Yeah, some scientists think that like the air rush would like
Interesting.
Yeah, but I
coming
mean, that's gotta
down,
be, like-
you would like not be able to breathe.
But that's got to be
and
higher
you
than
would-
an airplane, though, because people skydive.
People with sky.
But you have
Not
the,
all of them.
but you
I
eventually.
think it depends on the plane.
I think it would depend on the height.
But it's the
Yeah.
whole way down, right? Whereas you would eventually parachute.
I mean, I've seen Point Break. That guy jumps out without not only not a parachute, but doesn't have a mask on. That's all I'm saying.
I
He's
just thought
Keanu
he was
Reeves. He's heightened human being. But
there are
Jeez.
scientists, I have read this, that believe.
I'm
that,
not. I'm not saying that it's not necessarily true. I'm just wondering, like, what that height is the
Yeah.
thing. Because I mean, they skydive from like 6,000 feet, right? So it'd have to logically be higher than that.
Yeah, I mean, it would depend on. I think a lot of it would have to do with equipment, and I don't know.
Air quality.
I think the humaneness would depend on the person. I would be like, you're going to die. I will let you choose the way you want to die.
oh, I would.
Unless it's like
That's the other
snooze
thing. Lethal injection, not great if you're fucking terrified of needles.
Every time I would take a bullet to the head before lethal injection, shock.
want someone to beat me
or-
to death with shovels.
You know what I heard about
you know-
the other day about of the electric chairs? That usually you had to do it more than once.
I heard that too. Yeah, that sounds terrifying.
Which
I
is
would-
the most fucking horrifying
No,
thing I've ever heard.
Suicide by lightning. I still think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
What's suicide by lightning?
You just stand on a really high building on top of a lightning rod.
I
and wait
see.
till
We're
it's
like
struck.
wearing a metal suit or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You just.
You're not likely to die from lightning. It's about a 50-50
but in
chance.
theory, you could potentially
just
fall
do it
off
multiple
the and
times.
you'd fall off the building.
We had a teacher in junior high that he had got hit by lightning not once, but twice, both times while golfing.
After you
and
get
man, did he look it. He looked like he'd been hit
I
by
really
lightning
thought-
so many times.
I thought you were gonna go from the great outdoors and say 77 times, and I would have just been so happy there.
No, twice.
Realistically,
I don't know if your heart could take more than twice.
well, each time you get hit,
I got a-
supposedly
I got a
you
big
have a
heart.
greater chance of getting hit again. It's like tiny, but
Yeah, because you're like now like more positively
yeah,
charged.
yeah.
Has to do with
aligned or
I'm
electrons.
gonna get hit by lightning once, and I'd be positively charged.
Hey, me too.
Zing!
Heyo.
Depression is real, guys. Ooh. So I mean, if I'm looking at it from the monetary, way of Mike, death seems like the best option, but we're not necessarily. I don't know. No, I'm sticking with the first one. If I would want to show people how just fucking batshit crazy you could get, and be like, this is what it is.
Which is fair. You could create a pretty sweet viral marketing campaign.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is in like the world of SimCity, where you could just hit the God code and like have as much money as you want. It is Miss Shannon's turn.
Jesus.
Nice. Nice.
I'll take this one. This one will be mine.
No. Do you remember how Lana used to get so mad at me for that?
Yeah, because you'd throw coasters across a room.
Mm-hmm.
You're an asshole.
You really like your coworkers.
Some of them.
Vito.
This is not true.
On the day of your very last shift with your current job, you're moving up in the world.
What is this?
You wake up with a cold. Do you call in sick on your last day or tough it up and go into work?
I don't think I've ever called in. I'm going into work.
Yeah, going to work.
I think last day I go in.
I go in
Yeah,
last day so I can finally steal stuff for the first time ever.
I'd
at my
probably just
job.
like sneeze on
it says
everything.
cold. It says cold. It doesn't say I'm dying with the flu. Like, where I'm like throwing up. It says I have a cold.
Yeah.
That means I have the sniffles, a sore throat, maybe a headache.
If I almost worked the next day. Like I worked
Yeah.
and I went to the hospital the next day and I almost died. Like,
That's what,
enough.
I think if it's my last day, I'd be too embarrassed out of anything other than like I literally couldn't go in.
I think if it was me, if it's like I'm so sick that I literally cannot function, I would like show them proof in some fashion or another, and I'd be like, you know what, I'll work another day. Someone take a day off. I don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely not a big deal.
Well, yeah, and then, like, if you like your coworkers, chances are, like, once people know it's your last day, they probably want to see you, say goodbye.
That's what I mean.
It kind
Yeah.
of sucks.
Yeah, and like,
And everyone knows last day it's gonna be a wank, one way or another. Like,
And-
even if you're sick,
yeah.
you're gonna be like, I'm not doing work. Like, I'm just here.
And like where we work, like last day, I mean, it's just the thing. Then crown afterwards is the actual.
I mean, we might find out soon. Who knows, right? Any one of us could leave.
Yeah. I guess that's fair if we're adding the option C where it's like don't go to work but go to the party afterwards. I'd probably do that.
That'd
like,
be great.
Like. Just the management.
Just like send text messages there. The party's still on. I'm just not going to work.
I'm just not going to work. Yeah.
Gonna nap.
I don't actually
Take
have
a
the-
whole bunch of NyQuil. I'll see you tonight.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
Which I think is fair. Like I think you can
Just
be
get,
sick enough
like,
to not want to work but
fucked
still want
up.
to party.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean, like 8 hours
Yeah,
of
just
rest in theory, you could
Lil
be
Wayne
fine.
it.
Yeah.
Flex up on cough syrup.
you need to be much less healthy to drink than to work. I feel like
Yeah, and I
personally,
mean,
like
you need less money to get drunk if you're popping NyQuil all day. That'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, I mean, you mix the two together, and I mean, that's
Yeah.
Bang.
Lil Wayne's life.
Yeah, Buckley's and fucking
Gross.
Red Bull.
Sipping that purple drink.
Oh,
That's
and then like
basically
add
Jägermeister.
some yeah.
Yeah, like
Jaeger.
Ugh.
I feel like I have an
Jaeger
easy
bombs are
one
gross.
Perfect.
here. All of your friends are going to a cabin for a weekend of fun and booze. It is also your partner's friend's boss's niece's wedding, and you've already RSVP'd. Do you go to the cabin or go to the wedding?
You've already RSVP'd.
Yeah.
That plate costs those people money. You have to go to the fucking wedding.
It's a big deal for
It's
me.
custom.
If I say I'm going to something,
Maybe the
You
wedding
may-
costs like $1 billion,
Like-
and your plate of food is worth like $200.
I feel like my
You should
real
do that,
answer
so
is
you
like-
pay for it.
My real answer is I wouldn't RSVP and I go to the cabin, but I agree with you. If I RSVP'd,
yeah.
I would
Well-
go to the wedding because that costs them money. I agree.
I mean,
I'd be pissed if somebody
I agree.
RSVP'd to my
Yeah.
wedding and
Totally.
did not
agree.
show up.
Just
I'd
the
be
number
like, I
of
fucking paid
times
for
that I've
food.
had people
You bitch.
flake on me, and like not even just like big things, like a wedding, just like
your wedding already?
No, I haven't sent out invitations
Okay,
yet.
Just making sure. At this point in time, I mean, it's not saying the wedding, you have to stay for the entire wedding. You stay for the ceremony. Thanks, guys. Something came up. I gotta go. Something came
Or
up.
go to
is-
the reception, have dinner, and leave before dancing.
Yeah.
I think option C here is you go to the
Yeah,
ceremony
it never
maybe
say,
and
yeah, it
you
never says you
leave.
can't do both.
You leave immediately after go to the
Yeah.
cabin.
And I mean, it's your girlfriend's.
No, your significant other's friend's boss's niece's wife.
Why the fuck am I getting invited anyway?
That's what I don't think I would have
Because
RSVP'd.
you're
No,
part of a
God, no.
gigantic Italian family, and they're part
Not
of a
true.
gigantic Italian family, and
Not
you just fucking invite
You know,
everyone.
So I think to make this question realistic, do you RSVP or do you go to the cabin? I would go to the cabin.
I think it's dependent. Like, I'd RSVP, like if you guys send me your RSVP next week, I'm gonna RSVP as quickly as possible, and then I'd be like, okay, well, I'm buying plane tickets, I'm doing this, I'm obviously going to yours. If
That's
the
what-
wedding's down the street and the cabin's 2 hours away, I can do both things. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I agree. I think the minute I RSVP, I'm at least going to go to the wedding at least a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say B, but if I'm able to leave the wedding and go to the cabin, I'm going to
Yeah.
do that 100%.
I mean, like, realistically, wedding could be fun.
Yeah, I the wedding is more
Maybe
wedding
have
is people you
threesome
don't
that
know.
night.
Yeah, and
I think that's a fair
that's
point.
not a bad
And
thing.
there's nothing saying your bros
Or an
can pull
orgy.
wedding crashers on it.
Yeah, and
Just
I mean,
one text, open bar.
that would be sweet.
That's exactly true. It doesn't say anywhere in the question that you can't get the friends that you would have at
Yeah,
the cabin
and-
to come to the wedding.
And even if they couldn't, like, realistically, they will go to the cabin again. And
Yeah.
not to say that you won't have another wedding, but it's fun. It's a unique event.
I mean,
Who knows?
your boss's sister's cousin's friend is a skank. She's gonna get married again. You're gonna be fine. Like, not a problem.
And also, yeah, so bosses, nieces...
no, it's your
friend's
friend.
bosses.
Girl,
Okay.
No,
No,
it's your
girlfriend-
significant
yeah,
other's
girlfriend's
friend's
friend's boss's
boss's
niece.
niece.
Regardless, this is a massive wedding. That means there are a lot of people who are loaded. So a lot of people who you can just, like...
the amount of people I could grift
Get
at
to
this
buy
wedding.
you trick them to buy
Exactly.
new drinks,
Like,
and you
there's
can pick their
just...
pockets.
Open
There is
bar.
so many options here. This
I
would
think
be a
that's
great
the-
wedding to go to.
Like your friend's cabin is not going to have people you've never met before. Probably it's probably just going to be all your friends.
More likely
whereas
than not.
whereas
And
like,
that stripper.
a wedding of mostly strangers is going to be new people to meet. I think that's an excellent way to look at it. Man.
And I think,
Yeah.
logically, I wouldn't steal from the people, because if it's a wedding that is this big, the chief of police is magically going to be there. That's
Exactly.
not worth my time.
I
but
would
if you
steal
grift-
from the
duty.
chief of police.
But if you can still...
Well?
What? You grift them into giving you money.
Mm-hmm.
Then wait, it's all on the up and up, and the police chief's can be like, well, why would you do that? Then you rob him, and then you're gone.
I would get
I think they
him
maybe
in on it and say, like, I'll give you 50%.
Yeah, then you go to jail. That's flawless.
I'll help your son.
And then I'll go to
Ralph.
solitary confinement and go crazy. It's perfect.
Except in my world, you'd be dead.
Which is fine.
Alright, so this one might hit close to home.
Uh-oh.
You're getting married. Congratulations? Question mark. Do you invite the abusive partner of a friend to your wedding, or not invite the abusive partner?
I'm gonna say B. I don't really have any tolerance for abuse, to be perfectly honest. Like
I'll
I,
get real dark. I got a family member whose significant other told said family member they wish they were dead. Their wedding invitation is only addressed to family member and not significant other, because I don't really care if she's there.
I think I would,
You're going to Vegas. You can leave
in the scenario where my friend, like, it depends on if they know that they're in an abusive relationship or not. If she genuinely, like, loves the person, or he loves the person type thing, I would...
Stockholm.
Yeah, right? I would invite them, but I would make it at a locale where the guy would be like, well, that's fucking dumb. I'm not going that far for a fucking wedding for your stupid fucking friend. And then she would come, but he would not.
Are you sure
okay,
that
so you
people
would try
allowed
to
in the
you would
house?
try to be a little more. Basically, you would try to do the not invite the abusive partner, but be a little like
Invite
sneaky
him,
about
but
it.
make
Yeah.
it so he doesn't want to go.
Yeah, I would do my best to dissuade him. I'd tell him that there's a chicken wing sale somewhere, because I
You
think...
can come as a guest. I'm not going to send you an invitation.
And I wouldn't have him a plate for dinner, because I know he's going to take hers, because he's a bad person. And then at that point in time, I'd be like, now people are going to beat the shit out of you.
I agree. That's how I feel. I just don't have any like.
I have no tolerance. Like, I have gotten into a fight before over someone that hit his girlfriend. I think mental abuse is way worse than physical abuse. Get the fuck away from me. I would also tell the person right away, I'd be like, you need to get out of this, because I will hurt him. Or,
I agree.
I wouldn't hurt her, but I would have someone who would kill her.
I wouldn't want to
If I had a friend
like.
that was in an abusive relationship, the friend would know that I didn't like their partner.
Yeah, one way or another.
I agree, and like basically what you're saying, I would just send an invitation to the partner
What?
and be like, you have
I
a
was
plus
saying, in
one.
our
You can
relationship,
choose.
He's
Oh.
abusive and you didn't like him.
You can choose to do that, but I'm not inviting your abusive partner.
Thanks,
I-
man.
You'd be the abusive one, let's be honest.
I agree. I don't. I just,
Everyone really thinks I'm a terrible human being.
In a relationship between you and me, I would be the
like
abusive one.
everybody to think you're a terrible human being.
I don't think Mike would be abusive.
No, I don't think I would either, but I think in this scenario, that would be not only very confusing, but we'd probably
I
both
would make
abuse
a
each other.
sexy woman.
I think at worst I can see Mike being like.
You seen those legs?
I can see him being emotionally withholding. That's the worst.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see. I don't think Mike would ever be physically abusive.
No.
I don't see that.
Yeah, that's a wash for me, because
I'd like to say that for most people in that I meet in life, I at least don't think they would be physically abusive. Like I feel like you have to be really fucked up to be or the point where I would be like,
yeah.
you're gonna physically abuse your loved one. Like that's
Yeah.
a really fucked up
I-
thing for me to think
Yeah,
about.
I can't say I know anyone that's of our age, or even like plus 10 years, that would even think something like that.
That's why I don't know anyone that I engage with on any regular level that where I would be like, you would beat your spouse. Like, that's fucked up. I think that's totally fucked up.
I've
Yeah.
known people that like, known people fairly.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I feel like there are definitely people we know that.
Like,
100%.
I know abusive people, but not abusive in a relationship. Like, to the point that, like, a close friend of mine who might be dead, I don't actually know, he, like, was in prison for 7 years, and, like, he killed a guy and he was in prison, and he got out, and he almost hit his wife, and then almost killed himself. He's like, I almost hit her, I wanted to kill myself because it's such an awful thing to do. And I was like, man, you literally killed a guy, and you wouldn't hit a woman. That's, like, immediately 2 steps up. Like, 100%. So, I'm sure I know someone that abuses their spouse in one way or another.
Yeah, I agree. I
logically.
probably do know someone, but I don't know anyone where they act that way on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
I agree. I think people are able to hide that, but I don't.
yeah, it's not common knowledge, so.
I don't. I like to think that I wouldn't be okay with thinking that about someone.
Yeah, I would probably immediately say something.
I would either say something to them or just completely like end my relationship with them.
Yeah.
If I thought that about
one way or another, yeah.
Yeah.
Question was really stupidly dark.
I feel like a lot of the times the questions are just like a springboard to get to a larger conversation. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hmm?
I forgot what the question was.
I believe it's your turn, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
If you're ready to ask a question.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Your mother has recently remarried. Unfortunately, your new stepfather is 1 year younger than you are.
Oh.
Oh, that's a
Your
rough one.
mother would really like if you would
Dude,
call
like-
Randall
Is
Dad.
that like 17 for you?
It's 20.
Oh, sorry. She married
What?
illegally.
It's not 12?
Ha! She married a
Ouch.
child.
I thought we had a friendship here, Shannon.
Yeah, she complimented you. You look young.
Ouch.
I think you look like a shoe, but whatever.
Wow, this is just... I'm just done.
Like a shoe. Not
Did you
even gonna
say
give
he
it an
looks
age.
leathery?
Yeah, you know.
To be fair, Mike, it was like a young shoe.
Yeah. It was like a Converse
A
All-Star.
12-year-old
A really young,
shoe.
good-looking shoe with a big penis.
What did I do to you all?
And
Has a
broken
bright
watch.
future. Gonna be worn by LeBron James at one point in time. It's a good
It's
shoe, man.
those shoes from Black Mike.
Yeah.
That shoe.
There you go. You got to be worn by Lil Bow Wow?
Lil Bow
Well,
Wow.
Bow Wow.
That's
To be
huge.
fair, they were also worn by Michael Jordan, which is way more exciting.
Oh, Lil Bow Wow's pretty badass. Now he's just Bow Wow. But whatever.
What's his real name? Oh man.
He's
Oh
a
my
Bow Wow?
god. What is it?
thought it was named-
Terrence something?
No, it isn't. We watched CSI Cyber where they used his real name.
His name's not Bow Wow?
It's not Bow Wow.
Oh, that's
No.
depressing. I mean, it's not depressing. I'm really happy, but still.
Sorry, did you
didn't
say?
finish your question.
No, everyone kind of just started insulting
We
me.
were doing a pylon. It happens. That's how we do things.
You liked it.
So she wants you to call Randall, who's a year younger than you, Dad.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
from
this
time
is-
to time, absolutely refuse or call him Dad once in a while in front of your mom to appease her.
I think if it's my mom, I would call him Dad, just to make her happy. For like if my mom, it'd be totally fucked up, and I would not be comfortable with it. But I would call him Dad. To
No,
make her
I
happy.
would be like, you know what? I respect you enough that I'm like not going to complain about who you choose to spend your life with, but you should have enough respect for me that I don't have to call anybody Dad. I'm like very much like my uncle was getting married and my uncle's never been married, and my dad was like, "Oh, your aunt's on the phone," and I'd like look at my dad and be like, "That's not my fucking aunt," and he'd be like, "Don't be so rude," and my mom would be like, "It's not her fucking aunt." Like,
Well,
it's
still,
not.
still, technically.
They weren't married yet. She wasn't my fucking aunt.
Oh, before they got married, you mean? Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah,
Now
sorry.
I would say she's my aunt.
Okay,
They've been
yeah,
married
okay.
about 6 months.
I
but,
think
like,
if my mom had a conversation with me where I said, like, where she was like, "I want you to call him this," and she was, and I was like, "I'm not comfortable with it," and she was like, "I'd still really like it," I would probably still do it at least every now and then. Like, probably not a lot, but just.
I don't think
just,
I call my dad Dad. So
That's what I agree. I'm not perfectly
What do you
comfortable
call
doing
your
that,
dad,
even
then?
with my real dad.
I either call him like Pop or Jim. Like,
That's
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not
Facts.
super like emotional with my real dad. So
Yeah.
to be it with another person, it would be even tougher. But I would I think, like, again, to get to like the meat of what I think the question is saying,
yeah.
I would try for my mom.
I'd do my best to make my mom happy.
If my mom really wanted that, I would do it. I don't think my mom would.
Okay, if the situation
make that.
was reversed, would you do it for your dad?
I would, yeah, I would.
No.
This is. I don't know.
He almost got married, and I would not call that bitch mom.
I get what you're saying. Like, I get what you're asking if I would do it for my dad, and I would like
Well,
feel.
you just said that you don't have a close relationship with your dad, which I was like, are you saying you have a closer relationship with your mom and she can get you to do things?
Not even that I don't have a close relationship with my dad, but I just feel less comfortable being like
Sappy?
emotional with. Sappy is probably the word.
Yeah, I mean it's the classic way.
It's
I'm
okay,
way
I'm
closer to my
sappy
mom
enough
than I
with
am
your
my
dad for
dad
both of
because
us.
she's my mom.
But I guess again, if my dad felt comfortable enough to be like, I want you to do this, and I said I don't feel like doing this, and he still said, I would like you to do this, I would probably do it just to make him happy. Because I like my dad a lot, and I have a lot of respect for him.
You, in the moment, you don't like being told what to do, and your immediate response would be, fuck that, I'm not doing it.
I think it was an ask though, wasn't it? Your
asked.
mom.
That's what
asked
they're asking. My
But
dad.
that's what I mean.
I think
Zach's
asking.
parents ask him to do stuff all the time, and his response is, fuck no, I'm not doing that.
No, I think I agree with Patrick. I think telling and asking are different things. I think if it's asking me to do it, I would do it.
Yeah, and if it's depending on the scenario. I mean, if it's like if my mom says like, "Can you take the trash?" Hell no.
That's exactly.
But I mean, if my mom's like, "This is my boyfriend," and I assume that they've been together for a long time. She's not in an abusive relationship, so I can invite him to my wedding.
He's at least neutral, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I assume that. Yeah, I'm like
he's not a complete
50% to like him logically, right?
Okay, I mean, I guess the question, because like this guy's like 20s, he's younger than me.
Yeah, how old's your mom?
My mom's like 43.
Man, she's good.
I didn't even think about. I don't know that I would be comfortable calling someone my age or younger
That's what I
dad.
mean.
No, and the thing
Yeah, and now that I think about, I don't think I would.
This
I don't think
guy-
I would.
Look at
yeah,
Zach.
I don't think I
Like,
would.
what is this guy's deal?
I've
John's
seen-
mom
Why?
seeing like somebody's like that'd be weird.
You're 100%. You're 100%
There's
right.
no world where I can
You'd be
trust
like,
this
nope,
guy.
you
Well,
need
but
to
you
have
gotta
respect.
think that
It
it's
goes
not
both
necessarily
ways.
for money. Logically, like unless your parents are billionaires, you gotta think it's probably not for money.
I think
Maybe
if they're
the cougar sex is just real good.
I think if they're within 5 years of me, honestly, I don't think I'm ever calling them mom or dad. I'm going to change my answer. I don't think I'm ever going to call.
I told you, I know you.
I don't think I'm ever going to call anyone my parents leave for another person mom or dad. I don't think I'm going to. I think I would call them by their first name. I'm going to be 100% respectful. I'm never going to give them shit. I'm never going to call them mom or dad.
I would 100% give him a noogie.
Man, my mom is not, like, I feel like in this situation, my mom will be being taken advantage of in some way. Like, there's just...
Maybe she's taking advantage, though.
But me,
Of that wall.
That's not my mom, though. Like, my mom just is not
But you're...
conniving enough
midlife
to...
crisis. You get a divorce. You're single.
Yeah, she's like...
You meet this young guy. He's
Let's say
real-
like
Chris
100%.
Evans.
They're
my
equal.
mom is the most...
Chris Evans.
I'd
No,
call him
she
dad.
wouldn't.
I'd call him daddy. I'm fucking on board with anything.
I would call him whatever he wanted to
Yeah.
be called.
Anyways.
I call him Steve. I would not let him refer to himself as Chris. I'd be like, "You're Steve
Can I call
now."
you? Can I call you Captain instead of Dad? Is that okay?
Oh my god.
You're not Steve. You're not Chris Evans anymore. You're Steve Rogers. And if
In
you
this
ever,
house.
if I ever see any
We're
ID
the
where
Rogers
you
family.
refer to yourself as anything else, I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah. Unless, except he's gigantic.
Except
You hit me.
you'd be like, I'm gonna sit on you, Zach.
I would psychologically abuse him
Oh,
for a couple
yeah.
of years before that.
That makes sense. I think this
and then you
question's
can go to your own wedding.
this
Exactly.
question's in theory, like it's a lot. I wouldn't care. I would do it with my mom, but at the same time, someone who's my age. I mean, I'm 32. I don't call my dad dad.
That's what
I
I
call
barely-
my mom, but that's because if I like saying her name like confuses the shit out of me. I've been calling my dad Jim since I was 15.
I agree. I don't call my dad by his first name, but like I call him dad. I don't think I could call another person dad. Like I legitimately don't think I could. I think it would totally fuck me up. Like
I just want to go on record and say I'm a grown adult, and my parents are daddy and mommy. 100%.
I call my mom mommy every now and again, but I mean my dad he's been my boss essentially since I was 12.
My dad will literally ignore me. He will not respond unless I call him daddy.
But if you're at work and you say, "Oh, Dad, can you help me?"
Nope.
No, but that's what I'm saying. For my
Yeah.
scenario, it just doesn't work. It was like, gym or boss or this. Like, that's just what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
So
That's fair.
he was just, I mean, and I don't even, like, my dad can listen to this. I don't really consider my dad, like, he and my mom split up when I was 12. If I was 12, the question would be completely different for me. But I
Yeah.
think at the age of, like, 20, it's assuming that your mom is, you know, not your mom. Like, if your mom's, like, what, like, let's say 36, and she's dating a 19-year-old, it's just like, I mean, I guess it's kind of gross. If you really want me to call him dad, sure. You know, like, if my mom was born in 1958.
You're assuming my mom had me when she was like 10.
Well, no, but I mean, you're 20, like, I'm just saying, like, if you're 20 and she's 36, that's 16, right? Like, that's just, like, what I'm saying,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah. So, in my scenario, my mom is 58. Yeah.
Your parents had kids real young.
Yeah, my dad was born in 1950, and he was
Oh, so he had it older.
31.
My parents were born in 62.
And my mom was born in 1958. So she's 58, and she'd be dating a guy that's 31, which is not only younger than me, but younger than both of my brothers.
Yeah.
So whether or not
Gross.
I'm fine with it is completely irrelevant, because both of my brothers would be like, no, I'm not calling you dad. That's fucking stupid.
I was thinking about it from like the perspective of my mom having a boyfriend and her wanting me to call him
No,
whatever. I guess I would be okay with it. I don't think I would call a 24-year-old dad. I don't think I would.
Unless I'm like referring to him like as if he's like my friend's son. Like I'd be like, oh, what's dad doing today? You know, like because he's his father. I wouldn't call him like. Wouldn't be a proprietary thing. Like
He
he's
wouldn't be
my
my dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Frankly, if my mom was dating a 24-year-old and he wanted me to refer to him as dad, I would take that as a negative. I'd be like, that's something fucked up
If
about
you need to get
you.
your shit together, you need to call me Pops.
If
Yeah.
he said it to if he approached me and said I'd
Oh.
prefer it if you called me dad, I'd be like, if you touch my mom, I'll
I'd
break every
prefer-
bone in your fucking
I
body.
agree. I'd be like, that's a really
like,
fucked up thing
really
you just
over the
told me,
line.
and
Yeah.
I think very negative about you.
Yeah.
If my mom said it, I think I would say no, but I wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
I feel like
I'm changing my
anytime-
answer. I wouldn't call him dad. I wouldn't.
I feel like
I would
anytime
not.
you're in that situation where you get like remarried or you marry somebody after a long time, you unfortunately have no right to ask anybody to call you anything they're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever. Like my uncle got married to his like longtime girlfriend when I was 14, but I've like known her my entire life,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
like
literally
Jan or
never
whatever,
called
right?
her aunt.
Yeah.
Because like even though she was my aunt, I couldn't do it. It
I
was
don't-
weird.
I don't call my blood aunts aunt. Like they're Mary and Annie and Bridget.
I feel like once you're like an adult, like once you're in your 20s, it doesn't really like those
No.
terms don't really mean
Yeah.
anything.
In my
like,
family, you cannot, like, if I were to drop aunt before anything, my family would go ballistic. Like, it's disrespectful. It has to be auntie. or
is
aunt.
it you next to read a question? Or?
So I think we're all content with it. I mean, if my mom's dating a fucking 30-year-old, I'm like, what is going on in your life?
Yeah,
Like, don't
I
even-
no.
like-
More than I think about, I don't think I would call a 24-year-old
I think
dad.
I think I would do it once, and I'd be like, I'm done with this. Like that is now uncomfortable for me. And sure, she if she's genuinely happy, I'm cool with everything you got to do. I will not do that.
I'd be very polite. I would refer to him by his first name. I would shake his hand. I'd be super nice. I would not
If his
call him
name's
dad.
Tom, I'd call him Mr. Tom.
His name's
That's
Randall,
his
guys.
first- oh, right, Mr. Randall. My mom would never date a Randall. Fucking veto.
If he says, I want you to
I
call me
hear
dad.
Randall and I think recess.
Yeah. Miss Finster.
I hear
Miss
Randall, I
Finster.
think Monsters, Inc.
Man, if my mom married that kid as an old man, I'd fucking kill
What if
him.
your mom was Miss Finster?
Well,
Ew.
I mean, my mom's...
That's pretty much what
My
we're
mom's-
at here.
Yeah, my mom's pretty terrifying, so...
You are a scientist looking for the zombie cure. Society is giving you a safe place to work, fresh food, and whatever else you need to help boost your brain's power. However, you learn that all efforts will be futile, there will never be a cure, and what's worse, everyone is already infected. Do you, A, tell people there will never be a cure, or B, pretend to continue to work on the cure and remain protected and well-fed until the inevitable end?
So wait, every single person except
Everybody.
for you?
No,
Kill-
everybody.
No,
Including you.
everyone, including yourself, is infected
But
already.
until your end, you could be safe and well-fed away from everybody else.
Kill myself.
That's option. Let's see what option C is. I feel like you're pushing for option C hard.
Option A plus the guaranteed seat in heaven. Change my mind. Option A.
So option A is
Tell everybody.
you tell everybody.
That's
I'm
you
right.
pretty sure if you tell everybody about the cure, you already get a guaranteed seat in heaven. But what you just did now is you now put heaven on the table and said it exists.
Which, if it does,
I guess, yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean,
the hypothetically,
in this
Shannon,
game, where
relax,
your
okay?
mom is marrying Randall, fucking
And your
exists.
dog can talk and read.
My
Yeah.
mom doesn't believe in marriage.
Let's say if heaven exists, you have a guaranteed seat. It doesn't guarantee that heaven exists. But
My
if
parents are
if
married.
heaven were to
This is a
exist,
theoretical question. Guys.
this is a good thing. Is if it existed.
Well, in which heaven are we talking about? Is it your heaven, or is it like heaven from Constantine, or is it like
What's happening from Constantine?
heaven from Constantine? It's heaven and hell are basically the exact same as what it is. It's just layered to be like much nicer or much worse.
In
Like
heaven, you get all
movie.
the cancer taken out of your.
Yeah, like have you seen the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
basically
wait.
like that. Where
With Keanu Reeves? No,
Yeah.
I've just seen
Yeah.
TV show.
Oh, okay. So the movie, they're in like Los Angeles or something, and he's in, like basically heaven and hell are like different planes. So hell is the exact same, but it's like all ruined and desolate, and heaven's the exact same, but it's like always immaculate. Or is it like the weird heaven where everyone like goes around in robes and plays fucking harps?
I would say in this option
This
C,
is the end heaven where you get to go to heaven and the Backstreet Boys perform for
it's
you.
your heaven. You get to decide whatever you want.
100% Backstreet Boys are there, except
Back
for
streets back. All right.
which one?
Kevin left, but you know what? I saw them on stage.
Kevin,
recently,
AJ.
and all 5 of them were together.
No, I don't like the one. I like
Nick.
Brian was Nick. Which one's Kevin?
The brunette that was like
the
the,
tall one.
sexy one.
Really young right now.
He was the one that wasn't weird looking when they were young.
Yeah,
He's
I know,
weird
right?
looking
Like,
now,
Backstreet
though.
I
Boys.
wouldn't want glasses guy. That's really creepy.
Howie,
No, the other one, the fifth one.
AJ.
AJ was the one who thought he was a gangster for a long time with like neck tattoo, right? Because
You
Brian
know
was the
what?
main singer.
Brian,
Nick
Kevin.
Carter.
That's about as far as it goes for me.
Well, Nick Carter, you know.
Well, yeah, but fuck Nick Carter.
Can I get NSYNC instead of Backstreet Boys?
No.
Can I sub out Justin Timberlake for any one of the
I
five?
would say in the
You
context.
wouldn't sub out Justin Timberlake for all of the.
Then yeah,
five.
100% done.
Well,
I
then
think
we
in
all do
the
that.
context of the "This Is the End" movie, where they could choose anything, you could choose the NSYNC, yeah,
The super band.
or like Justin Timberlake. I think 100%, yeah.
That's fair. The super band.
I think
versus Justin
it's your
Timberlake.
personal heaven. It's literally heaven. It's whatever you would consider heaven. It's
That's
not
fair.
like the South Park heaven where it's only Mormons, right? Like,
I think I mean I'd tell people because I mean realistically I'd be like, you know what, you guys all have. How long does it like the zombie infection doesn't take long to take effect, right?
Zombie.
It'd be like-
The idea is that when you die, you become a zombie. So you live your natural lifespan or not, but when you die, you become a zombie.
Well, I think that's all dependent on like the scenario though.
Yeah, I think this one's assuming it's like that. This is like a
Oh,
straight up
alright.
The Walking Dead.
Then I'd still tell them. That's fine.
No, I'll take my food. I'll live in comfort. I'll enjoy the rest of my
It's
life.
not saying. It's also not saying that you couldn't still live in comfort, right?
They're not going to pay for it anymore, though.
Who needs money? You're gonna fucking die.
I think as this question is pausing, 100% there's no cure. I will probably just take for myself some positive things until the end of my life.
Yeah, and then people are going to have hope. People get a hold on to that hope.
That's
that
what I
there's
feel
gonna
like.
be a cure.
I feel like if I take that negative away from, if I take the nice things away from myself, I'm also taking nice things away from people, and I'm not adding anything. You know?
Probably just take what I could carry and leave in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So
Is it? Does it say that you can get continued funding forever? Because
Yeah.
they'd
Till the end of
eventually
your life.
want. Really? Oh, yeah.
at a certain point, I assume you would get the zombie virus or
Yeah.
whatever. Like everyone is infected. It says in this.
Well, no, I was just thinking like they'd want results, right?
and
I think in this
But
scenario,
you're like,
you
I'm
could.
just pursuing different avenues.
well,
They'll continue
I
to
just
fund you
would
for as long
break
as you
down-
want, basically, until you're dead.
like I don't know. I would want to live with that.
Could I have zombie Justin Timberlake perform for me?
Yeah,
I'll take it.
But he'll do everything in halftime.
and he'll even do
I'm fine with
Backstreet's
that.
Back. Like he'll do
What?
Backstreet's Boys
Oh
songs.
my god, I am on board with this. This is heaven for me right
That's
now.
heaven, exactly.
Oh my god.
Justin Timberlake doing Backstreet's Back on infinite loop.
Flawless.
That's heaven.
You guys need to.
Okay, you find out after a night out
What?
with the girls that you have contracted an STI. Not too serious, but your partner will likely catch it now too. Do you A, tell your partner that you caught it from a tractor seat, or B, not say anything?
Whoa, wait. How did you contract it?
You're fucking someone else.
Does it say that though?
Yeah, you find out after a night out with the girls.
But it
that
could
you-
be like, because I mean, you can get it from sitting on a toilet seat in the wrong place, right?
I mean, I guess.
Or making out with like a random person on the dance floor.
And
Let's say you got it from something that you don't want to the tractor seat explanation is a lie. Whatever you
So
got,
you
it.
did something
Well,
nefarious.
Whether you sat on a seat they don't want you to sit on, or you fucked someone.
But
you know,
even
like,
if, okay, realistically though, even if you had it and did get it from a toilet seat, and you told them that, there would
probably
always be a
believe
doubt in
Yeah.
their mind. Like,
yeah,
it's the same result.
It doesn't say your partner believes that you got it from the tractor seat, but
and at the end of the day, that is irrelevant.
And I mean,
Yeah,
is it an STD that's going to stay forever or go away?
it literally says you got an STI, and then it says in parentheses, not too serious.
So if it's like crabs,
So let's say it's herpes,
I'm banned
right?
down
Like
there. I would-
yeah, or
No
crabs.
hair.
Herpes or crabs. Like you're not gonna die from it. It's not AIDS, but it's not gonna be great.
well, I mean, I would just not have sex for the 5 days until it
Yeah.
went away. I'd be like, not feeling it. Sorry, not gonna happen.
Yeah, fake a flu, get the medication, just take the pills, wait for it to be over, and
Yeah.
nobody ever
I mean,
needs
if
to know.
it's one that's permanent, I would probably tell them just because that's who I am.
It does say your partner will likely catch it too. So your partner will not necessarily catch it,
Oh.
but
Then I'm definitely not.
Oh, well,
telling
and if you don't have sex, they're definitely not catching.
so like let's say
yeah,
I'm
keep standing up.
giving this my like a little bit now. You'd say they have a 75% chance of catching it. So 25% chance they do not. You can have sex with them and they don't catch
Yeah,
it.
and not only not catch it, but not know. I mean, I'm assuming this is a scenario where if I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to cheat on them, and it's from toilet seat, whether or not they believe me or not. I know that I didn't necessarily do anything wrong. I just was like under the wrong circumstances. I'm not going to tell them just on principle.
I think for me, if I have made this choice already, like I've had this girls' night out, in quotes, whatever,
Yeah, right?
and I've made some sort of choice that's given me this STI, and it gives my partner at least somewhat of a chance of getting it, I'm going to tell them.
I think I'm with Zach on this one.
I think I owe them that, to be perfectly honest.
Here's my theory. If you're at the point where you're already cheating on a night out with the girls, chances are you're not that happy in your relationship. Chances are your partner's also not that happy in your relationship. Chances are they're also cheating. So just fucking sleep with them. Then when the STI pops up, be like, well, you fucking gave it to me, you ass. Done.
I just don't. I think
down the rabbit hole on that one.
I think the STI, it's just a more
The
permanent.
more convoluted the lie is, the harder it is to pick out
I know
the...
this, but
I think when you make it
I
like
really love
a physical ailment, it's a little more serious than emotional. Like if you cheated on someone, you told them they're gonna be fucked up emotionally, but if it's a physical ailment, like I think they at least deserve to know.
I mean, I can't necessarily disagree with that.
I don't, and like on a moral ground, I don't know how I feel about it, but that's just my gut reaction.
My gut reaction was to, I'm wondering why I'm going out with girls.
But
Because you're a good time.
it's a boys' night. You
Do you want
can
to talk?
you can replace it to boys' night.
He
if
does
you-
sound
if-
like he wants to talk.
if you would like.
He's tried like 7 times. You and
That's
Zach just
just
keep talking
how
over
it
top
goes.
of
I've
him.
kind of just made peace with it, but it's just generally being around Pat is fine. I would really love to know, like, after people listen to this podcast, who they think is worse, Shannon or me.
If we have any listeners, we can do a vote.
Yeah, we'll set a poll on Twitter.
It's me.
We don't have Twitter for the account. Don't go to Twitter.
I'm Jason Mantzoukas. I don't have Twitter.
I don't know. I mean, we've all had some. I mean, Zach's clearly like the nice one in this scenario. In like every scenario we've had.
Yeah.
I think it depends.
He
I
was
mean,
the
raised
dog ones.
right.
I'd like to think
So
I was
was
raised.
I.
I was. Well, you were raised religious. That's. All
I
I'm
just,
saying. That depends on the
I just
scenario.
want to say, like, this is mostly hypothetical. This is how I like to think I would react. It's tough to know how you would actually react in these situations. Like, maybe in these situations I would react in a selfish way, but,
And I like to think that I'm selfish because in the end,
Doesn't even
all
matter.
that matters is me.
Boom. Linkin
and
Park.
that's totally fair. I don't even, like, I don't
Wow.
resent that.
You really were that kid.
I like to think that if life is worth anything, it's worth helping other people if you can.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that. I would probably if it was that I cheated on them, I would tell them. If it was that I like sat on a seat and it happened, I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" And I'd be super confused, and I'd immediately be like, "I don't know what happened." Like,
Yeah, I
don't know.
agree. If it was literally a tractor seat, which they don't say in this scenario that it isn't a
Yeah.
tractor seat, like, so if you have a night out with the girls where you're all sitting on tractors, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, but
That's
I
the
like to
tractor
think
seat
if I made a choice and it was going to negatively affect someone I really cared about, I would like to tell them. You know,
It makes sense. It makes sense.
I like to think that I would take the responsibility for my actions. You know.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll be clear. If I got an STI because you cheated, I'd probably murder you.
That's what I mean. I feel like you would be legitimate to at least feel that way. You know.
Zach
so
has a very persuasive reason to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's not wrong in any scenario here. I think. I mean, like I've slept with a fair chunk of women. I have yet to even get an STI. I say STD. So I mean,
They're not diseases; they're infections.
yeah, whatever.
How does infection sound better than disease?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know.
understand.
I just like
I think it's more technical.
the odds of it happening. I mean, probably not necessarily amazing. Like again, I have has anyone here had one? You know, between the amount of people that we've all interacted with, not even slept with, but just interacted with, because you can get it from sitting on a toilet, being in a gross place. I worked on White F for 5 years. I dealt with homeless people every day. Nothing.
That's a fair point, I guess. Yeah.
You know, so it's a difficult scenario for me. And with all of the pills and everything that happen, you can get rid of it quick, unless it's it says it's not a bad one, which I assume means it's not permanent. So I'd be like, you know what, this could happen. I'm sorry. Here's some pills. Everything should work out.
I think it's a fair point where, in modern society, to actually get a full-on STI, you kind of have to be being reckless to a certain extent. You gotta not be wrapping it up, you know?
Or grinding some. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next one. Ooh. A large man with a top hat and a monocle sitting at a nearby table starts choking on something. You ask him if he is choking. What? And if he needs help, but he doesn't respond. He only flails his arm helplessly. How would you know he's choking?
So we just assume you're an idiot in this scenario.
So...
The first step of first aid is to ask them if they're choking, and to ask if you can help them.
But, yeah.
So, this one's a really weird one. Do you A, chest thrust, life saved? I assume they mean, Heimlich maneuver, but just didn't know what that meant, because they're idiots. Or, wait until the man passes out, then try to help him without consent. You could get sued. This is the American way. Well, it's the Canadian way, too. I'd help him.
Yeah, I think Heimlich, if he's choking, obviously, to be embarrassed about choking is a pretty, common symptom of choking.
The law for first aid is if you ask them if you can help them, and they cannot, tell you no, they don't want help, you can help them, and they can never sue you. And if they tell you no, but then they go unconscious, you can again help them because you assume that they don't want to die, and therefore you have consent. You are always clear with first aid.
Yeah. I mean, you also have the option of just saying no.
I'll save the person. It's a story.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely do it. If I were in the scenario where I was top hat monocle man, I shouldn't be wearing the top hat while I'm here. That's just ignorant. But I wouldn't. Nice. I wouldn't want if I'm wanting to die or anything like that. Choking seems like the worst possible way to go.
Oh, the panic.
So I would just be like, you know what, save my life, I'll jump off a building. Done.
Have you ever started to choke and you're just like, oh my god, I'm just gonna die in my kitchen right now
it's awful.
on the floor?
I've choked on ice cream and it was gone in 2 seconds because it melted, but I was like, and then
and you're
fine.
sitting here and you just look like I'm gonna be such a fucking idiot. I'm gonna
it
die
is
choking on food.
The stupidest way to die, basically, is how you feel.
So, I mean, 100% I'd save that guy's life and I'd be like, hey man, fucking next time, 21 times how much you're supposed to chew. No big deal. I think that's an easy one. It's 21, right? It's 21.
What?
That's how many times you're supposed to chew before you swallow?
I don't know. That sounds like mush.
Sounds like mush?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's supposed to do.
That's what
correct.
This is for.
You're correct.
Fucking perfect. Your turn. I think we're all agreed that we would save that.
Yes, I think we can move on from
If he falls unconscious, I might see if I could elbow drop him to
this
get
is
it
a
out.
long one.
I'd see if that would... Oh my god.
You are visiting your girlfriend's ex-military father for the first time.
Nope.
Break up with her.
Yeah, that's not gonna
At the
happen.
dinner table, he stops eating for a moment, slowly puts down his fork and knife, and carefully wipes the corner of his mouth with his napkins and leans
I'm gone.
in ever so slightly while resting his chin on his left fist. Finally, he looks up at you with cold, steely eyes, and after a long pause,
asks which of the two following mantras best describe the way you live your life.
Party all the time.
I like this
Do
question.
you A, say live free or die, or B, the good of the many outweigh the good of the few?
Oh, that's not
Live
even
free or
fair.
die.
I like this question a lot, actually.
That's not even like that. Doesn't even have. It started off with military for fucking nothing. That's like that's
That's
ridiculous.
the most
I love
baller.
the setup though.
They went so far into
This
that.
is my favorite question we've had playing
Yeah,
this
like
game.
I
at
thought it was
all.
gonna lean in with like, "Have you slept with my daughter? You're fucking dead."
I thought it was gonna be easy. Like obviously you would say no or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's a. I think I would like. Do you have to pick an or in that scenario?
Can't say both.
I think the good of the many outweigh the good of the few.
Yeah,
that's ultimately what I would like to think I live my life based
Yeah.
on.
I would do the same thing. I mean, Spock is the most logical creature in the universe.
Exactly.
He knows what's up. Like, except I don't know if I would cite Spock to a guy in the military.
You could say you were
That's
citing Transformers 3.
Ooh.
Leonard Nimoy says the same line.
He does.
So,
Is it? It is 3. Yeah.
it is
Oh,
3.
fuck,
Yeah, that's the one he's
fucking-
in. It's terrible.
Dark
I thought you were talking about the time for a second there, and
No.
I'm confused.
Yeah, that just makes sense to me. I mean, live free or die. Sure, that's a fine one, but it's not.
I don't know.
I think if that was... I like that one, but I don't like it as much as the good of the many outweighs
Yeah.
the good of the few, which is really where I'm like, I think that is how I think of governance and
Yeah.
life in general.
I think in a lot of cases, I think that good of the many outweigh good of the few is a cop-out answer that people use to justify horrible actions.
I think that
Yeah.
that's fair as well. I think I would agree, but I also think live free or die can be a something you
Which,
can.
yeah, no,
you
I
No,
would
you
suggest-
live free, and if you can't have freedom, you rebel, which is risking your life, and you die for your freedom.
And
Freedom is worth dying for. Live
Well,
free
Yeah,
or
but what
die.
if you're the only one to die? Then it's the need of the many.
well, and the
Who
thing,
cares?
thing is like it really.
question's
The,
intense.
I mean, live free or die is largely dependent on what you perceive freedom to be.
Yeah,
Because, like, if you perceive it in the American way, freedom is...
The worst thing that anyone could have.
It has no real definition in any, like, form. It is completely amorphous, and it means what they want it to mean in any given scenario. Like,
Yeah.
There's no true
they
definition to it.
That's true. For me, I kind of think of there's a Simpsons episode where everyone acts like Bart, and in that Simpsons episode, like that to me is like live free. It's like you don't have to necessarily live by rules. You don't necessarily have to do this. There's rules that govern society that make it what it is. It's not saying that live enslaved because I mean we're all enslaved by rules. That is the law, right? So
Yeah.
for me, we're already technically enslaved, and I'm not going to die, for doing something stupid that clearly makes sense to me. If it's I have the opportunity, like if it's in like V for Vendetta, or if it's like a Nazi regime, live free or die. That's fine. But for the most part, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, while a cop out still rings true in like 90% of the scenarios.
yeah, that describes the social contract, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah, no,
that's the
totally.
needs of the many versus like if you're using an extreme example to be like live free or die, you could be like I want to piss in this fountain, and that's me living free or die.
Exactly,
Whereas
right?
like the needs of the many is that we'd like to have a fountain that doesn't have piss in it.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. And I mean, if we go back like 3 or 4 scenarios to that zombie one, the needs of the many is not telling them that they're going to become zombies.
Yep.
Yeah, and although even in that one you're getting the live free, that one kind of is both because you
Yeah.
get to live free, you get to get to all the shit you want.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, the needs of the many just makes perfect sense.
No, for sure.
And I would absolutely willingly die for like the needs of the many people type thing. 100% for me on B.
I agree with you, Mike, that both, or like especially B, can be used to like support
yeah, well, and
very negative thinking.
when you distill any philosophy down to 3 words or a sentence,
That's what exactly.
it will lead to some sort of corruption.
Yeah,
at some point. There's
exactly.
no way
if
that
you're
it can't,
if you're really
right?
simplifying it, you're kind of
Um,
selling an agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you want to read the next one, or should I?
I think
Scared
you
the shit
need
out
to
of
go
me.
to bed.
I had my eyes closed. And you
Sorry.
just like tap me on the shoulders
Also-
really hard.
It's crooked.
What?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I don't put things up properly. Fuck you, Mike.
He doesn't have a level.
For all the listeners, Mike is commenting that I can't hang up pictures, which I might have already discussed that I cannot. If you look at that one, it's fucking just ruined.
That one's funny because it like sags, so it doesn't have to.
Yeah, but it's not supposed to.
This is a very Canadian question, I feel like.
There's a
Maple syrup?
major snowstorm and the visibility is down to just a few hundred meters. You're driving on the highway with your children. It is incredibly slippery. You pass a car upside down in the ditch. Do you stop and see if everyone is okay? Or keep driving? With this poor visibility, your stop car could cause further accidents.
Oh,
Keep driving.
A few hundred meters, though? Absolutely pulling off to the side. There's no question in my mind.
If this snowstorm is that bad that there's cars in the ditch, I would rather get my children home before they freeze to death. I'll phone for an ambulance.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not necessarily saying... You also wouldn't necessarily know what marker you're at or anything like that if the snow's that bad. But a few hundred meters? I've driven in snowstorms where the visibility's like 20 feet. You know?
yeah.
So a few hundred meters is far.
If it's that bad, you probably just pull off. I would agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably pull off just for the safety. It's not saying your car's broken down or anything like that. But, I mean, like, I would pull off and I'd keep the, everything on for the kids and I'd cover them up as much as I could. I'd check on the guy. If he's, human sickle, I'd go back to my car and tell him he's fine.
I
And then
really
I'd drive away.
don't think this is a Canadian question at all.
It's
like,
just, I mean,
They don't understand what a snowstorm is.
No.
yeah, it's
they
a really
don't.
weird one. Like a few hundred meters is a lot.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
distance.
pretty
That's
good.
football
And I mean-
fields.
It's one. I mean, a few is 3, right? So 3 football fields of distance or of sight. I can't see that far now.
That's
Like,
pretty good, yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, when you put it that way, I'm like, that's not that
No,
bad.
and I mean, at that point in time, I'm like, guys, wear your shorts. Like, holy shit, that's not that bad. for sight.
Maybe if I literally see a car upside down, I call 911, but like, I see cars in the ditch all the time.
all
like,
the time.
All the time. I don't call 911 ever. So.
No. Yeah, and like, I mean, okay, so making it more like, I guess, Canadian. If it was like, 10 feet.
I keep going.
And I mean, at that point in time, 10 feet, can I see that car?
Yeah, right? So, like,
And even if you can see it in the silhouette. Like, do you want to pull off? Do you want to risk getting stranded if it's that bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to risk stopping in that scenario just
If it was
because it'd be
just
difficult to
you,
get
it
going
would be
again.
different.
yeah.
But you
exactly.
have children.
It wouldn't be different for me. I'd keep going. I mean, in that scenario, and I mean, you got to think unless the snowstorm's going for like, well, I mean, if the car's upside down, he's probably fucking dead. Let's be honest, right? More likely than not.
I actually, no, it would have been 3 years ago now, on my birthday, I was driving to school, and, like, my dad and I were coming down this hill, and we watched this car take a turn, and he caught the edge of the road with his tire, and literally flipped, and
That's what
totaled his car.
I feel like if I
Just, like, watched it
And
happen.
the snow acts like a cushion.
He
If
was,
there's enough snow.
yeah, he
If
was
the
So
car-
there's not
fine.
like
He was
quite
just
as
in
much
shock.
of an impact.
I think
And,
the specific of the
yeah.
car being upside down makes me much more likely to call 911.
Totally.
I think if
Yeah.
the car is right side up, I probably don't, because like
Yeah,
either someone's gonna stop or they've already called 911. Like,
more likely than not.
yeah,
I mean, everyone's got a
Or
cell phone
they're,
at this
like,
point in
pull
time.
over the
anyway.
side
that's
road.
what like is that.
That makes
If you're
sense.
conscious, you're gonna call 911.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, a few hundred meters is ridiculous.
And like I don't know, you like just on the highway, there's cars pulled over the side all the time, like, and they're not necessarily in need of emergency.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that's a horror movie start. I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
Not killing my kids.
Okay.
Bobby and Ashley, good kids.
Bobby.
You are a
Robert.
dog. You have your master's delicious stinky sock. A solid 10 out of 10 on the classic stinky scale. Master wants you to drop it. Do you A, drop the sock, or B, run to the coffee table and chew a giant hole in Master's sock? Oh, what fun. You know Master won't hurt you.
That's a weird question.
What is this?
I mean,
I
So,
do
like,
it.
ultimately,
I
like,
chew
we
the
assume...
stock until he brings me some fresh fucking cooked bacon.
This is a dog that, like, presumably one of us would own, I would think. Like, a dog where, like, we know for sure that our master's not gonna fucking hit us, you know?
yeah, I'm just wondering, like, first off, like, am I in the scenario where I just have the knowledge of a dog? Because if I have my own knowledge, socks aren't that expensive. That's not that big of a deal.
It says you are a dog, so I would say you're a dog. I mean, you have your. I'm gonna say you have your moral, you have your morality, but you don't have your knowledge necessarily. So you have your.
I think in a playful fashion, I'd be chewing that sock.
I think I'm B. Like, I know Master's not really gonna hurt me. I know he doesn't really give a shit about socks. What's option C? Yeah, option C, Shannon.
Oh.
Drink a refreshing glass of cold, milky sperm.
I mean, dogs lick their own crotch, so I don't think that that's too much of a thing.
I feel like this is the first time where A and B are both obviously better than C.
Wait, how long is... I'm curious about this question. How long has that sperm been sitting there that it is cold? Like, it comes out pretty warm. Is someone's jerking off in a cup, like, chilling it to a nice, 3 degrees, specifically to give me a cup?
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting a lot of effort into this, but I'm still chewing that sock.
The way I'm interpreting...
You could not pay me enough to do this.
The way I'm interpreting
no
question...
money on the planet.
Depends how big of a cup. I'll be honest.
$7 billion. No interest.
C seems like it's like you couldn't tell it wasn't milk. Like that's what it seems like it's asking.
$7 billion?
It doesn't. I just want to clarify. C doesn't actually say milky. I added that.
It depends on the size of the glass. If it's a shot glass, someone wants to pay me $1 million, I'll take a shot in the mouth.
No thanks.
Just saying.
I wouldn't... I agree. Shot glass of sperm, for sure. Glass of sperm? Fuck no.
If it's like fucking glass, and I have to drink that whole thing?
That's what...
Hell no!
A second chug, like I can do one chug, a second chug, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I would rat. Yeah, no.
How do you know? You've never had it.
Just
Haven't I?
You don't know that Pat's never had a cold glass of refreshing sperm.
Yeah, I mean it depends on the size. I've never had a.
It's like a salty beverage.
I've never had a glass of cold sperm. I'll leave it at that.
Maybe the person who ate a lot of pineapple and it's super sweet.
Okay. I'm still drinking some
It'd
juice.
be like,
It's either
like a pina colada of sperm.
Not only in the scenario that it's sperm, in the scenario that it's either someone I don't know or someone I know. That's the thing.
Pina colada.
It'd be like, oh, hey Mike, I saved this bottle of sperm for you. Drink up. No, I'm gonna die. I'd be like, you know what? I'm cool with this. Like, not a big deal. Do you like
Saved
bottles
up.
of sperm? We're dancing in the rain.
That's
Okay.
a lot of pina coladas.
Right? Like, how? Like, oh my god. I'd be tired. Like, holy shit. Your girlfriend's family gets together 9,000 times a year. 30 times a day, guys. For family functions.
More than once an hour.
Is one of those get-togethers and you are exhausted and feeling under the weather. Do you go to the family function, you will feel sick and unnecessarily tired for the next few days, or stay home and rest but anger the girlfriend and family because they do not understand the pain you deal with on a regular basis?
Wow.
I'm probably breaking up with her, I'll be honest. If she doesn't understand that shit, like...
I'm sorry. Like, it's like one thing if your family only does something like every once in a while. But, like, if you're sick, who the fuck cares? Don't go.
I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand a scenario where no one's going to be like, oh, that guy's a fucking dick. He's at home coughing and dying. Break up with him.
I agree. In the situation where it's like, this happens a lot, you're sick, don't go.
Yeah, if it's like a once a year, like, or like first birthday, or like someone's or Christmas or something, sure. Just
Next
tell them.
family is like, every couple weeks it's like, we're doing something, and it's like, yeah, we're not coming. Like,
And that's fair. I mean, innocent, like, if my family got together more than once a month, I'd be like, I think I'm done here. Like, I magically work a lot. You know, like, it happens.
And
I
like,
work 80-hour weeks now.
people do get sick, like, it happens, like, and you do need rest, like, I agree with that. I do think you should just take the rest, to be perfectly honest.
100%. I mean,
question
this one seems
really
like...
black and white.
You don't need to do it all the time. It's just one time.
And this one seems very unrealistic where, like, no one seems to understand that you're in pain and, like, can't function. I'm gonna, like, if it was me, I'd show up and be like, you know what, guys? I just want to show up and say, hi, I'm gonna go home and go to bed. I'm very sorry. Not feeling it.
Exactly, that's what I would do. And I agree with you. If you're in a relationship where your significant other doesn't realize that you meet a lot and that maybe every now and then you're going to have to be like, oh, I can't do this one.
Yeah.
I agree, that's the problem. That's a like, I'm not ready to continue with this relationship.
Yeah, like, if I'm in a relationship with a girl and she says, we're getting together every Friday and every Sunday and you have to be there every time, I'd be like, I work every Friday and Sunday. Do I quit my job and not have any money, or break up with this girl who's a fucking psycho? Probably A, because I'm stupid, but I'm hoping that it's B in the long run.
I was going to say...
Or if, like, you miss a Friday and it's a big fucking thing for the next, forever.
Yeah, for the next 12 meetings. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's like she never lets it go. Like,
Yeah,
I think that would be like we have different ideas of
as
what
soon as she goes,
is appropriate.
Changing the locks.
Exactly.
End of story.
Oh.
You getting tired there, Shannon? Oh, that's a red one with only 5 lines.
Wow.
God damn it.
This is the worst question I have read. For,
Ooh,
this
interesting.
entire
I'm excited.
deck.
I'm intrigued.
And it's super short. You had a bad day at work.
Yup.
Do you A, smack your baby, or B, smack your grandmother?
Grandmother.
B.
Fuck, I like these really short ones.
I just want to be clear. My grandmother, I love her. She's a fucking bitch. She could use with a good slap.
100%. I mean, I already I do that to my grandmother right now. Doesn't say you have to, beat her.
I guess, I don't want to do either one, but my grandmother could possibly deserve it. My baby doesn't deserve it.
Well, I mean, smacking a baby, it doesn't matter how hard you slap. If it's a baby, you could have a lot of, there could be a lot of things down the road that aren't good for that baby at that point.
Your baby can't possibly deserve it.
No.
A baby can't do anything that deserves
But they
it.
will stop crying.
A baby can't understand
But then you shake it, you
why
don't hit
you
it.
do it.
Yeah,
What's the
exactly.
problem?
Even if a baby does a bad thing, a baby
I'm just joking.
isn't capable of understanding that it did a bad thing. Whereas, a grandma probably has done at least a couple bad things in her life.
If it's a toddler, you go get that bag of oranges. But if it's a baby, no.
I like these ones where it's two bad answers. I like these a lot. I feel like these are the real moral dilemma questions.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, my grandmother lived through the Depression. She can handle getting hit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
A baby cannot possibly deserve.
No, and it
being
wouldn't
hit.
understand.
Yeah, it's going to do more damage. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Do you want to read? Do you want to read one or do
No.
Wow.
Do you guys want to call your cab at 3:23 a.m.?
Is it really 3:23?
Yeah.
I would not be that specific.
No
would
wonder
totally be
I
that
am
specific.
so dying here.
I had a nap earlier. I'm feeling
It is 3:20 though. Jesus.
We've been podcasting for an hour and 56 minutes.
Here's
Oh
my
my
phone
God.
if you want to get Uber ready. I'm gonna read the next one.
No, I don't.
How do you split Ubers?
You do it through contacts. So does Zach have you in his contacts?
I have Zach as a contact, yes.
You are a volcanologist. Your data indicates that a deadly eruption is likely to occur within the next 12 hours. You immediately alert your local government. They say it's far too late to organize an evacuation.
Are you requesting Uber or are you requesting it?
You guys are going farther, so... Although... How do you do stops?
Well, you could realistically just stop at the lights and give them money, right by the McDonald's.
Yeah,
So
we
you
just
get
split it in half, so the way it works is just the total fare will be split between us, which I'm totally fine with. I don't really
Yeah,
care.
but how do you set stops?
You don't. You just talk to them.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So you're an expert in volcanoes. One of them's going to erupt in 12 hours?
Yeah, an eruption is likely to occur within the next 12 hours. You immediately alert the local government, but they say it is far too late to organize an evacuation, and that they also do not want to cause panic. Do you A, alert the public yourself? This causes massive hysteria. Some people will get trampled. Many more won't make it far enough away in time, but at least some people will be able to escape. Or B, get your family and run away. The unclogged expressways make a perfect getaway. You don't alert the public.
Oh, 100% my family.
Okay, well, I'm not going to request it because it said they would be here in 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to request it until we're ready.
Okay. I mean, that's a really dumb... 12 hours is a long time to get ready to evacuate, to be honest. If I told you guys that, the world, the hospital that's, 2 minutes that way is going to blow up and you have to evacuate...
By 3 o'clock
By
tomorrow afternoon.
3:30 p.m.
That's
do you
what
think you could function?
That's what I feel like. Even if my family doesn't make it out, that's at least good
I can
enough
get in my car
odds
right
that I'm willing
now.
to risk it.
Yeah.
And I can be in, Montana.
In 12 hours, I could walk far enough away. And I do not walk fast.
Yeah.
I could get so many goddamn kilometers in my Pokemon, I'd be fucking great. And safe.
I believe that people deserve the truth on some level, so I would like to at least give them the chance.
Yeah, and I think to the point that I think 12 hours is so much time that I would call my family and be like, there's a volcano, get the shit ready, get the kids, go.
Think
we
about it
have
this
2
way:
cars.
volcano, island, depending on the situation, if you're trapped, all the cars leaving, like then you get traffic congestion. That's why evacuations take so long. Is it's like physically everybody is always trying to leave a city on like 3 or 4 roads.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the problems. That's why it takes 12 hours.
Yeah.
It's because literally every person in the entire city is in their car trying to leave.
But I mean, at that point in time, if I have called my family, and if it's not on an island, because I would never live on an island, and they're just like driving away, I'd be like, okay, you go first. We have another car. Like
technically, everything is an island. Just so
yeah,
you're
thank you.
Oh my god.
That was such a good reaction to that. Oh my god, everything.
And then I would absolutely tell everyone. That's fucking.
I love that. That's so true.
Oh,
That's such a bullshit thing to say.
Pangea is
an
fucking
island.
horse shit. Next
We're all an
question.
island.
Oh, right in the face too. Shit. That's cold.
so bad.
Break it up, guys. Let's find a different game. I don't.
Oh
I
man.
have a really good one here. This is a red question.
I'm glad I was wearing glasses. Otherwise, that would have been a Sour Patch Kid right to my eye.
I'm legitimately very. That was deserved. You deserve to throw that one at him. I'm sorry you missed, but this one's really good. I'm very curious to hear everyone's answers to this. Your ailing grandmother has fallen ill. There is an expensive medical treatment that
I really don't like you.
could prolong her life. You need money bad. Do you A, become an escort, or B, become a porn star?
Well,
Porn star.
So to recap, your grandmother's very sick. You need money very quick. Are you an escort or a porn star?
I mean, realistically, porn star's gonna make more money, but
I feel like porn stars are gonna make more money.
But I think escort's gonna make money faster.
I just want to address that I crumbled a Sour Patch Kid in Mike's hair and he ate it.
I know, and he fucking brushed all the sugar off my goddamn arm. What did I do, guys? I think for
You
me,
invited us here.
That was going
You
to be my
caused
response.
I think for me, it would be escort solely for the fact that I need the money. I mean, like if I can get money for sex, I don't give a shit what they ask me to do. Like whatever. I mean, I have sex for free. If I can get paid for that, deal.
I think like a porn star is more likely to have a longer effect on your life. Like that video is going to exist forever, whatever you've done. Whereas an escort,
as an escort, you're more likely to end up dead, murdered in your home.
that's a fair point too. I guess as an escort, you're more likely to suffer physical violence. But I guess I would go with that just because you're less likely to actually have it affect you later in your life.
Nobody looks for
less
escorts
residuals
that
of
have
something.
been murdered.
Like I
know.
could probably like even if I have to be like let's say I can make the amount of money I need to make in a porn star in 6 months, whereas to be an escort it takes 2 years. Like I feel like I have a much lower chance of the escort affecting my life after I decide to quit as opposed to being a porn star. Whereas like people can look up that video of me forever and I'm always gonna be in that porn video. If I'm an escort, no one's ever gonna be able. There's no evidence of me being an escort.
The big I don't know. I mean, they're both not ideal.
Not exactly. Neither are ideal. Yeah.
But chances are, if you are an escort, someone is paying you to have sex with them.
I would say literally that's
They will-
exactly what an escort
Yeah,
is.
no. But they will be people who need to pay for sex.
Not necessarily.
But, I mean, you will have, like, because you will do it a lot, and you will have a lot of clients. So chances are you will have more that are just not
I've
appealing.
always heard like
Whereas, in a
porn's
porno,
work.
yes, but they
You're gonna
will
have
all
sex
be
with an attractive person.
Right.
That's a very fair point,
But
actually.
there's
Ron Jeremy is not attractive. Just I want to clarify that. Ron Jeremy is a porn star, and he is one of the ugliest people on the
But
planet.
I think,
Yeah,
like,
but
to
he
be,
hangs
like,
down.
I don't, I mean, this is maybe being a little bit how much porn I watch, but I don't think Ron Jeremy still works in porn, you know? Like, I don't think he's still, I think most modern male porn stars are at least moderately attractive. you
Oh
know?
yeah, you get all your James Deans.
Exactly. You get a James Dean type where he's at least good looking.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point, Mike, that, like, if you're gonna have sex as a porn star, you're probably gonna have sex with an attractive person.
Yeah.
I think for me, if why I'm doing this is to make money for my grandmother, I'm gonna be more willing to accept having sex with a less attractive person. I'm gonna be more willing to accept having sex with a 80-year-old woman or whatever to make money, especially if there's no video of it afterwards. You know.
I mean, for me, there's two things that push me to saying escort. The first one, in porn, you have to get work. You don't just do it. The second one is, if you get said work, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make as much money as you need. As an escort, you can do whatever you need, because it says you need money quick. So you're doing whatever you have to do as many times you have to do it until you get your goal, then you stop.
You're kind of desperate. I guess what you're saying, that
yeah.
desperation might come across. Like, people are going to take advantage of you as an escort. Maybe it was like,
Yeah.
maybe you're a little more controlled as a porn star, whereas like it's a little more of a reputable industry.
In theory, yeah.
As you know, I don't know if that's actually true, but it seems like it probably is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an industry, right?
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
Yeah, porn versus I don't know. Actually, even because thing is like escorts are illegal in most of
Everywhere.
North America.
Yeah.
Whereas I can't imagine porn is because
Well, no, because they do.
No, porn
Yeah.
porn is legal. Yeah.
Porn
Yeah.
is legal, but there's a whole bunch of restrictions on it. Whereas you
Yeah.
go to Europe and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
But I think, like, in an escort, you kind of have to, like, even the word
You
escort is kind of lying, right? Like,
yeah,
you're saying, like,
it is.
I'm just going to hang out with you, or it's like, really, I'm going to have sex with you.
Yeah.
But, like, you just can't say that
Unless
legally.
it's a scenario where you're just hanging out with them.
Yeah.
And
If
that
it's an
is-
old lady who just wants companions.
Or, like, did
another-
you ever hear about this 14-year-old, it's like a 14-year-old boy who hired a bunch of prostitutes to come play Xbox with him or whatever?
I
like,
did hear about that, yeah.
this was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Another good point is, as an escort, you're going to be escorting someone to some event where they want to be seen with someone attractive.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
So, I mean, for me, and especially in said scenario where you need the money quickly, I am absolutely going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to bang whoever I have to bang to get said money.
So are you saying you would do porn then? If
No,
porn-
I would be an
I
escort.
think he's saying he would do both.
No,
I mean-
I guess are you saying, would you do it as quick as you needed to do if there was going to be evidence that existed, or would you rather there's no evidence?
I mean, in the scenario of me looking at it as a shameful thing, I would do an escort. Like, I mean, I don't know, like, if I'm in porn and they're like, oh, what got you into porn? I'd be like, well, my grandma was really sick, I needed money. Turns out I have a giant dick and people wanted it inside them.
I guess
Porn happens.
that's sort of like, I'm assuming this situation that I don't want to continue with porn for the rest of my life. But if I'm comfortable doing that, I have no problem doing porn.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. If I'm like, I'm going to be a porn star, I don't really have a problem being like, I'm a porn star for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
But if I'm like, I want to make this money and then go on to doing whatever I actually want to do, then I'm probably going to do an escort.
Yeah, I would do escort. And again, I still believe that despite the fact you wouldn't be making as much in the long run, obviously, as a porn star, but you'd be making potentially a shit ton more in the short run.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you could have 10 clients a day, right?
That's what I feel like is like with an escort, you're probably more like how much you're willing to take on for
Yeah.
yourself. Whereas like with a porn star, there's a lot of external factors, like you need the lighting crew and the makeup crew
Yeah,
and the
key
video crew.
Yeah.
You know,
And also, as an escort, I make the rules. As a porn star, they make the rules of, no, you get to do this in this scenario. If it's said person, I'd be like, you know what, I'm uncomfortable with this, I'm not doing it, I'm sorry, move on.
yeah.
You know.
I think the term escort implies that you aren't like a street whore, basically. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't
but-
have a pimp that's making you do things you don't want to do.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
With you.
So I mean, if it's a scenario, yeah. So I mean, for me, like, if some girl's like, I'm gonna, jam this hot coal poker up your ass, I'd be like, no, I don't want your money. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, and we're assuming I feel like, again, in this scenario, there isn't like a big Jim who's like, no, you're fucking getting that hot poker slam up your ass.
Yeah, right.
Or I'm going to beat you half to death. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be beaten half to death.
I agree. It doesn't have a hot
Yeah.
poker slammed up your ass. I agree.
Unless he's doing that too.
Yeah.
And beating you.
He's like, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get a hot STD pen. Which would probably be better in the long run than a cold one.
Wow.
I'm sticking with escort. That's the answer for me. Okay. You and your best friend are professional athletes facing each other in the World Championship Finals. You are in it for the sport while your best friend wants to fulfill his terminally ill younger brother's final wish of seeing him become the world champion. He cheated to beat you. Wow. Do you tell the referee he cheated and get him disqualified, making you the world champion, or give him the win? This is a ridiculous question.
This is a weird one. I actually like this one. I think if he cheated, I'm in for the sport. Oh fuck, this is a tough one.
I mean, I would know.
Oh, he's in it for his terminally ill brother.
I mean, at that point in time, I would assume if he's my best friend, he would have some sort of morals. Would he cheat to win? You know?
I guess if he's my best friend and he cheats to win, maybe I feel like that's worth it. If he is someone that I feel is worthy of being my best friend and he's cheated to win, maybe I should just go with it at that point.
And I imagine that he would probably let you know ahead of time. Yeah. He wouldn't go behind your back.
Even if he did go behind my back, I feel like it.
How would we know he cheated though?
The terminally ill brother is like that's what. It's not like he's just cheating to win. He's cheating for a reason.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't as like purely noble as a reason of mine, whereas I'm like I just love whatever fucking sport we're doing.
Yeah.
Is that
Sport
reason?
ball.
Is that reason worth more than brotherly love? I don't know that it is. Personally,
I'm just wondering, like, would my best friend be content knowing that his brother, who is going to die within the year, however long, right, idolizes him all for the wrong reasons?
I guess, and this is just, like, very personal for me. If he cares enough to cheat to win, I know that I don't care that much about winning.
Yeah, and
I really don't. Like, as far as it goes, it's not going to mean... More than, like, a month, it's not going to mean anything to me, to be perfectly honest. Like, I don't really care about winning. So if it means that much to him, I'm probably just going to let him have it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And also, if he has to cheat to win, therefore, you know you're better.
I already know that I should have won, and I don't really give a shit about the world.
Yeah,
you know?
in that scenario, and if I knew, I'd be like, hey man, I'm not going to tell anyone, but we know that I should have won.
Exactly. That's what I would have a one-on-one conversation with him, and I'd be like, you know I beat you. And I would want him to admit that to me. I don't care about the world.
Yeah, and I mean, if his brother's dying, I'm probably going to be friends with his brother too, realistically.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I feel like if it's my best friend's brother, I'm at least going to have some sort of emotional investment.
Yeah, and like, why would I be doing it just for the sport instead of my best friend's terminally ill brother?
Yeah, I feel like if I'm saying like 100% I'm sport in front of my best friend, that's fucked up on my.
I feel like if any of us were like, I don't know, you used to play baseball, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I play pool, right?
Yeah, but
sport ball.
I don't know, like none of us are really jocks or anything.
Well, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be sport, right?
And
like, let's say it's chess, checkers, rock climbing, parkour, whatever, right?
No.
But anything, let's say it's like the world's best Dungeons and Dragons player, and it just works out that way. And I mean, obviously there's not competitions for that, but it does. I don't want it to be limited to sports. Like, let's say you're in contention to get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Right. And if he cheats to get a Nobel Peace Prize, that's probably a different scenario. That's kind of rough. But I'm still in the scenario of like.
Yeah, and
I just don't want it to be like sports.
And I don't think you're wrong in any way. I agree with both of you 100%. But I mean, like, there's a certain mentality that a lot of like most sport guys or like hardcore sports guys have, where like the sport is like, well, it's the religion, right?
Hockey is God.
Totally, and so like, because this question isn't divisive for us, because none of us are that type of person.
No, and I mean, I'm competitive, but if my brother comes to me and is like, hey, or if like a friend comes to me and is like, my brother's gonna die soon, I'd be like, well, fuck, like, why are we even here? Like, what are we doing? There's more important things than fucking playing sports right now.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I wouldn't even, if that meant that much, I'd be like, you know what, I concede. I'd be like, you know what, I forfeit, he's clearly better than I am, he's the champion, 100%. And then, you know what, even more on top of that, not only does this kid have an older brother, or younger brother, or whatever, who is the world champion, his best friend is the number 2 in the world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's just it's an interesting question, but when you think about it, it's pretty dumb. Yeah.
And, I don't know. I bet you if he gave, like, Brett or Robin.
Well, but, I mean, I don't know, because, I mean, like, Brett, certainly, neither one of them seems like a jock is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you give it to, like, Brett Favre or something like that, like, big sports guy, even at that point in time, you gotta think, like, realistically, they would have a best friend for 15, 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
And I mean, if someone came up to me and was like, oh, like, you're going to be the best chef on the face of the earth, you know, but your best friend's, you know, younger brother, older brother, whatever, is going to die in said scenario, I'd be like, can I help at all?
Not my problem.
It happens. I would absolutely just, you know, move forward with it and be like, okay, like, he can have it. I don't, like, there's more just at stake than my fucking ego here.
Hockey dads of St. Albert.
Well, yeah, but hockey dads at St. Albert aren't real people, is the thing.
Or hockey moms.
I mean, if you're living vicariously through your own child, you have a whole, fucking...
Zach's friend's dad got his kids kicked off the hockey team because he was so aggressive.
Jeez.
Yeah. And that makes complete sense to me. Like, proves a point that they're not real people. You know, like, if you're that much of a D-bag that you live vicariously through all of that, go fuck yourself. Like, I wouldn't even want to be around you in that scenario anyways. No. You know.
If your kid loves it, and you love it, like, that's great, but don't make your kid do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, while in the scenario that I have a child, I imagine, like, I know for a fact that I was never going to be, like, hockey champion. You know, like, it wasn't going to work. I can't even say, like, I had to say hockey champion because I don't know sports that much. Like, I wouldn't be the Stanley Cup champion or anything like that. I know that I didn't have that ability. It wasn't like that one home run or didn't get that nagging knee injury or anything like that. Like, you know, it doesn't, and I mean, even putting it to another thing where you're that competitive in anything, like, anything could, in theory, be competitive, right? But it's not, for any normal
competitive
person.
sarcasm.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd be a fucking, well, that'd still be a tough, I don't know if he'd win right off the bat, I'm just saying.
That's who I'm against.
And I mean, what if you sarcastically let him win? Then you're actually the champion. Rough.
I did sarcastically let him win, and I was the champion. That was the point.
Yeah. But, I mean, that question's just ridiculous to me. Because there's so many more important things than a fucking game.
Yeah.
And that's all sport is. You know, like, I just don't get it. You know, if it's like...
If it were to mean that much to his brother, like, you just fucking do it.
Yeah, because if his brother who's dying means that much to him, he would mean that much to me, therefore his brother would mean a shit ton to me as well. Sure, you know, and I mean, I'm not going to do anything, like, if I love the sport, I mean, how many people have cheated in whatever sport of professional sporting, right? Everyone has, at least, right? So, I like the sport that we're playing, rollerball or fucking street hockey or the Running Man sports or whatever, are already tainted. Whether or not people know it is irrelevant. I think that would be the end of it, you know.
You okay?
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So,
yeah.
One more question, 2 more questions maybe?
Yeah.
You do your thing with your cab and...
Well, because an Uber will be here in
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
So we can do one quick question.
Or we can do one question and then I can get the Uber. And then we're done.
Yeah, we read the question, we start it, then you guys do your thing and they get here and we won't do anything else. So last question for anyone who is concerned. You can't hear it yet, whatever.
They're concerned.
Yeah, like, the future people, we're doing one more question, don't worry. Fuck. Carry on, Mike. You can tell it's good when he...
I like this like good question to end on. It sounds like.
Your lover and one of your parents have switched bodies.
Oh no!
Oh, I don't like this question.
Oh my god!
I take it right back.
Take the next question.
You must have sex with one of them to change them back.
Oh.
Do you
my
have sex with your
God.
parent in your lover's body, or have sex with your lover in your parent's body?
I hate this question. I hate which way to end
Option
it.
C?
One more.
Too bad. Fuck you guys. Peace out.
Well, I mean, there's a couple things to discuss. If you think about it,
I don't want to have sex with my mom's body. I don't want.
No.
I don't
And I mean,
My dad's.
oh
Either one,
my
I don't
god!
want
If my girlfriend switched bodies with my dad, I gotta rail my dad's body to get my girlfriend back.
I don't think. I think
Or
I can.
rail your girlfriend.
I think I
Was
can
your
do this.
dad
dad.
conscious?
I'd rail my girlfriend, then kill my dad.
I would just like keep telling my mom to shut up. Basically, I'd be
Yeah,
like, shut
no,
the fuck.
100%. Yeah,
Shut the fuck.
I'd
up.
be getting like ball gag, 100%. I'd be like, you
Like-
don't speak, and it doesn't necessarily say, you know, sex to completion or like how long it has to take.
Just
it's just like
to blow you.
100%. Yeah. There you go. Excellent point.
Yeah, like
I
in and out.
I hate this question.
Realistically,
I hate
I'm
it.
like
No, you can live in my parents' body. My parents can live in your body. I'll find someone else.
That's what you don't have that option though. You don't have that option to just leave me. You have to have sex with one of us. That's what it is. I agree. I would just be like, fuck that. I'm out.
No,
I'm not
I'm
part of the family
I'll
anymore.
be your friend, but I'm not gonna have sex with you.
no, wouldn't now fucking.
That's what you don't have
Take
that
the other
option.
scenario further, where your girlfriend's in your mom's body and she's so attracted to you that she tries to seduce you. Like, holy shit!
That's the worst. I can't. My mom's body. I can't.
No,
I
oh god,
can't-
no,
I
100%.
can't
Like,
Your
fucking-
mom is a hot piece of ass.
I can't fucking fathom that. Like that makes me want to kill myself. Legitimately. Like,
no, I 100% agree. In that scenario, I'm like, where I'm just like, you know what? It's gonna happen really quick. It's gonna go away. Because I mean, realistically, my mom's already seen me naked. I'll be honest. Like, she's my mom. It happens. So I would just, flip her over, go to town for 10 seconds, back in. Not
get
a big
it done. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd fluff ahead of
couldn't-
time.
I couldn't do my mom's body. I
No.
100%. That'd fuck
And
me up so bad.
like, if it was my dad, I would just be. I'd be like, you know what? I'm done here. This is
Well,
weird.
the thing is that you still have the option of railing your girlfriend. I can't even finish that.
I really want you to finish that sentence, Mike, because I mean, we've
Railing your girlfriend when your dad is in her body?
No, I assume it's her mom.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I'm
Or
assuming
your,
it's,
your mom. Sorry, not her
yeah,
mom. Your mom.
yeah, I'm assuming it's like my girlfriend and my dad didn't switch. That's like
No, that's epic.
I'm sure it is, and I would not only not sleep with either one of them, I would move away. Like,
I'll be
You're
honest.
both dead.
If you're switching it that way, or it's if like your girlfriend, if my girlfriend and my dad switched bodies, I might be more willing to have sex with my dad's body, like, just because it's so out there. Like I obviously don't want to have sex with my dad's body. Like,
in said scenario,
What if your girlfriend in your dad's body had to be on top?
that doesn't work for
then
male
I'm
on
not-
male
yeah,
sex.
no, I
It
don't.
doesn't work that way.
I don't like that.
It does. You don't. It does like. It doesn't really work that
I'm
way.
assuming it's my mom, and
I'm always
so
assuming it's my
fucked
mom.
up. That's
But
so
I mean,
fucked
also
up.
there's the scenario of
I've never seen a question make Zach this uncomfortable.
does your
before.
girlfriend, does your mom sound like your girlfriend?
Depends.
Does
I
she
guess
just
that's
have
it.
your mom's knowledge, and like is your mom internally, but is complete like it's like the change up or whatever, where
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is fully Jason Bateman on the inside, but he's still completely Ryan Reynolds on the outside.
It seems like in the context of of this question, you would know that your girlfriend has your mom's brain in it.
And I mean, in the scenario of me having sex with my girlfriend's body to get my girlfriend back, I just wouldn't want my girlfriend's body to have my mom's voice.
That's what I would. As long as it's the same voice, I would just like.
Voice
Even if I
is
knew it,
determined
I
by
would be
your
like.
body, though.
I'd be like to my mom.
Yeah.
Stop fucking talking about it. We're just gonna fix this. I can't have
Dude,
sex with your body.
if she's sleeping, you just go. I can't even finish that one.
It is. I get what you're saying. Like literally, just get it done. I don't
Yeah.
want. I don't
No.
want either one.
And I'd be like, you know
I
what?
want
I'm
your
gonna
mom to listen to
I'm
this
gonna
so
go into my
bad.
room for fucking 35 seconds. I'm gonna get ready. Come in. Don't speak. Do what you gotta do. We're done.
That's what it-
Because
I-
again, it doesn't say completion. It doesn't say time length. It doesn't say anything like that.
That's what like. My mom can keep her mouth shut. She can't not have her body.
Exactly.
You know, like that's. And I could not have sex with my
And
mom's
at that
body.
point in time,
I couldn't.
I'd put on headphones and I would do everything I could to like get rid of all other sustains, like all other senses. Sorry, and I would just do the thing and be done with it.
I'd rather kill myself than be forced to have sex with my mom's body.
Yeah, no,
To
I
be
would
perfectly
absolutely
honest,
take
like,
death.
I would.
Just
I would take death. Like if
I get that.
I feel like that's always the option C here. Like you just take immediate death, and I would take immediate death in that option.
Yeah,
like
I'm fine
I
with
just
that.
would not do it.
No.
I couldn't. I legitimately could not.
I would just be like, seriously, enjoy your young body, enjoy your old body. Peace. out.
Yeah, as long as neither one of you enjoys my body, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I guess that's sort of like if it's like the enjoyment. It would be the enjoyment on the other person, and I wouldn't like it either way.
So option C is option B, but with your eyes closed while wearing oven mitts. Which I still think is going to be, like, my eyes be closed regardless if I'm doing option B. Or I would have
With
gouged
oven
them
mitts.
out ahead of time. And I mean, who knows, I might use oven mitts in the first place. That might be a thing. People are weird. No, I'm definitely sleeping with the girlfriend's body, and as quickly.
I need the
as
girlfriend's
possible.
body.
Yeah.
I can live with the mom's person, like her brain, but I can't. I could not.
But
Yeah.
what are you doing to your mom? Because your mom now has to live with the fact that she fucked her son.
Well, But I mean,
And
she
like
didn't though.
I
But
get
she
that.
did.
I get that, but I literally could not do it the other way.
And in the,
I couldn't.
And in the
I could not do
scenario,
it.
I would probably talk to my mother and be like, you know what, this makes sense. And my mom would be like, yeah, I don't want you to have sex with my body. And I'd be like, good, because let's never speak of this again.
I wouldn't even talk to. I would just be like, it would do it, and then it would be done, and we would never talk about it again.
Right?
Like,
Yeah,
that's
It
what,
would do it.
this question makes me queasy. Like legitimately,
I'm not
I don't
super
like
stoked
it
about this
at
one.
all. And that's why I think it's a good question.
And it's only orange.
Yeah, that's a medium question. We've had some pretty good questions on this one, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good place to end it, though, at the 2 hour and 25 minute mark.
Holy shit.
Some good questions. I was really happy with it.
Nobody's gonna listen to this ever.
I guarantee that at least...
Not the way to the end.
Well, they'll skip, that's fine. As long as we get the views and people talk about it, Colton will listen to it. I
Colton
guarantee
listens to it, exactly.
100%.
Colton's our listener.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Colton needs to vote.
Yeah.
Shannon
Colin, you
or
should have been
me.
here. We could have heard about
Worse.
how you wanted to fuck your mom.
We just gotta get Erica listening now, and then we can double our listenership.
That's right. I have 7 subscribers on this podcast, guys. 7.
And is one of them Zach?
I don't know. Are you subscribed?
I feel like at least half of the listens are from me.
But if you go back to it on your same IP, does it count as a next view?
I don't know if it.
I don't think so.
I don't know if it does.
I don't think so. Because I know that...
Or
on
we
the
have a decent amount of views then, yeah. I
Yeah.
agree. And even then, I probably have, like, maybe 2 for each one, like, for me, if it counts it double. I don't think it does.
Yeah, and I've never listened to it on YouTube. I just go to it to get the views. I mean, I have it on my computer, so I'm not worried. Neither here nor there. Thank you all very much for joining us. If you made it all the way to the end, let us know. If we know you, we'll buy you a Big Mac. If we don't know you,
Or a beer
fucking
to
why?
cleanse your mind.
You know, why don't you know us? I don't understand. We'll do this again soon. This was super entertaining to me. I enjoyed this one a whole bunch. Thanks very much, guys. Anyone have any final thoughts before we all go home?
We're gonna burn in hell. That doesn't exist.
Wow.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Anything?
I got nothing.
All right, Mike is stoic as always. Thanks,
Serendipity.
guys.